as far as whether it's Vetrano or whether it's what's his name?
Jake Gensel.
Jake. Yeah. What do you? Who are they willing to give up? You think? You think it's Othman? You think it's Berard? You think? Picks or whatever. And then the other thing is, do you think when Gabe Perreault finishes up at BC this year that they can pull a Kreider and bring him up?
They could. It worked for Kreider. That is a possibility. The same thing's going to happen with the kid that's in Winnipeg. It does happen on occasion. They give up the picks. I don't want. They don't want to have to give up these young stars. They don't want to. They want to be able to make sure they can bring them up. So I don't know Vetrano now Anaheim can't eat the salary. So now you're going to go right up against the cap with Vetrano, or maybe have to move salary? Because you're only allotted 3 times you could trade somebody and take some of the money, and they've already used their allotment.
Gotcha.
So if they trade Vetrano, they're not going to be able to eat any money. So it's going to be, they're going to have to move some pieces around. I personally think they're done. But I guess anything can happen. But I think anything they give up now is going to have to hurt.
Well, that, one of my catchphrases, not see ya, is maybe it's time. Mm-hmm. Well, a former NFL MVP is saying that maybe it's time for everyone, all 3 of us, to go. We'll explore when we get back.
He did say it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Peter, I know you need better help after that statement.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Now, get 1.9% APR for 72 months on Ford F-150, only at your local Ford store.
It's going to feel like home. It's going to be electric.
This is the Yankees flexing their muscles.
I think he's just going to elevate everybody in that lineup.
He has the right demeanor to pitch in the Bronx.
When you play in New York, the expectation is to win a championship.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Win big while streaming the Nets with Pick and Play on the Yes app. Make your picks before tip-off and win up to $10,000. What a move! Yes, Pick and Play. It's the game within the game, only on the Yes app.
For the first time, new players get 200 bonus spins with your first deposit. Plus, get up to $1,000 back.
Smile, you found it. The feeling of finding psoriasis can't filter out the real you. So go ahead, live unfiltered with the one and only Sotyktu, a once daily pill for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis and the chance at clear or almost clear skin. It's like the feeling of finding you're so ready for your close-up, or finding you don't have to hide your skin, just your background. Once daily Sotyktu was proven better, getting more people clearer skin than the leading pill. Don't take if you're allergic to Sotyktu. Serious reactions can occur. Sotyktu can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Serious infections, cancers including lymphoma, muscle problems, and changes in certain labs have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, liver or kidney problems, high triglycerides, or had a vaccine or plan to. Sotyktu is a TYK2 inhibitor. TYK2 is part of the JAK family. It's not known if Sotyktu has the same risks as JAK inhibitors. Find what plaque psoriasis has been hiding. There's only one Sotyktu, so ask for it by name. So clearly you. Sotyktu.
Welcome to Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from home any season, anytime. See game speed pitches from more than 600 pitchers. Get ready for game time with game simulations. Face your friends in live competitions. And train like the pros with expert drills and metrics to track your progress. So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
All right, so you're all familiar with Cam Newton.
Yes, familiar with his work.
Yeah.
On that stupid show that you make fun of me that I watch, We Are Family.
Right.
He was one of the secret. You had to figure out who it was, and I nailed it first guess.
But before I even get into this, isn't he starting to morph into, it looks like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
What look-wise? What's he doing?
In terms of the look,
like a Pirates of the Caribbean
he looks like a pirate.
I really get annoyed with people who have like the gimmick look, like a hat they have to wear all the time. It always annoys the hell out of me.
Well, Cam Newton was on something called the Big Pod, and he said, "You know what? We don't really need the Stephen A's of the world, and we don't really need." Guys that never played telling us what's going on.
Well, we have the cut. Do we have the cut?
Yeah, here he is.
This is on Shaq's pod.
Setting it up, okay, Don?
Oh, but you were giving a lot away there.
In the business, all right?
You're not Cam Newton.
I understand.
You were giving. I felt you crossed the line. You gave too much up.
I didn't cross the line. I painted a stroke.
Show me something.
Anthony, did I give it away?
I don't think so.
Oh my God! You're like he's not going to do it. He's not going to do a thing for you, Anthony. Not a thing. Yeah, everybody thinks he won't do nothing. Zero.
Jacob.
So, Jacob, keep in mind, he is going to do nothing for your career.
Do I even give off that kind of vibe that, like, I can hurt people or help people here? Do I give up that vibe at all?
You don't give up that vibe, but when your name's on the show, it certainly does seem like it could happen.
Yeah, but I never said you'd hurt him.
Right. But how can I help somebody?
I don't know. That's why I keep asking myself, why do they kiss up to you?
Because
maybe I'm
right. Maybe I'm right with these things.
I'd ask Peter, but he wasn't even paying attention.
About which part? Did he give it away?
No, I think he was giving up too much.
It was. Let's see.
Here's what Cam Newton said.
Here's what Cam Newton said on Shaq.
Here's the answer.
The Big Pod.
We're living in the golden age of athlete-generated content more than any other time in sports. People tune in to podcasts. I mean, this is a podcast epidemic, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got you get a podcast, you get a podcast. But the truth of the matter is, people are leaning into receiving their content in a different way, digesting it in a different way. If I want to hear about basketball, I want to hear it from Shaquille O'Neal, respectfully, not Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. is a good guy. Am I a fan of Scott Van Pelt? Am I a fan of, the rest in peace to Stuart Scott? Yeah. Do I want to suppress their road to that? No, by no means. But if you're talking about real emotions, real preparations, real feelings, real experiences, you're going straight to the source.
I agree with him, though.
But I agree to an extent. But state-run television is not going to give you the real story. Pravda is not going to give it's not going to give you the real story in Russia. It's just not. It's going to give you their side of the story.
Correct.
So I think that you want to hear from the athletes. They ain't telling you everything.
No,
they're just not. So that's why there's a balance there. The people like Stephen A. Smith and Scott Van Pelt and Michael Kay and Peter Rosenberg and Don, we're not going away. First of all, some of the athletes can't direct a show, can't direct a podcast the right way. That's number one. You need a real broadcaster. Number two, just because they said it doesn't mean it's true. They're going to protect their own ass.
I agree with everybody here. Though I 100% agree that sports talk is changing. I've been saying this to you guys. That's why I like when we lean into more fun stuff and messing around, because the truth is, I do think a lot of the hardcore sports fans are going to go to podcasts of athletes instead. I do. And I think we have to change our game as a result, because if we're sitting here trying to honestly, I mean, the three of us breaking down X's and O's, for example, if you want X's and O's, you go to a football player. They will know X's
sometimes.
And O's. I mean, I'm talking about specifically, literally X's and O's. They will know it better. But if you want entertainment and you want harsh opinions and honest takes, the athletes all protect each other.
They all protect each other.
They barely, unless they have a personal grievance with someone, and in that case, they're no longer being objective. So while he's right, it is a great time to hear from athletes. I just don't think it's necessarily that good a thing.
You see, the way I took it is that, Michael's right. You're still going to need somebody to run point. Like on Bart and Hahn, Bart's the former athlete. He gives his opinions, and obviously you're going to take what he has to say about football more to heart than what Alan's going to say about football, because Bart played the sport. But can Bart do a show by himself? Do you need somebody that's been groomed as a professional talk show host to help bring the most out of Bart Scott, be able to throw to break, handle all the interviews? In that situation, you're always going to need a Don LaGreca, a Michael Kay, a Peter Rosenberg, and Alan Hahn. But what Cam is saying is the podcast. Do you need the professional announcer on a podcast?
Not really.
When you don't have breaks and you kind of just do whatever you want. And you can ask a 30-minute long question and no program director is going to tell you, your questions are too long. Hey, so that's the scary part is the traditional terrestrial radio, the traditional television program. Like even, Tom Brady would go on, but he'd always have Jim Gray as like the guy to ask him the questions, right? You always needed somebody to bring the most out. But on a podcast, could Tom Brady just bring in another former athlete and him and Gronk can do a podcast and not have to worry about all the ins and outs and throwing the break and how long the questions are and all the things that management's on top of us for? So that's the scary thing, Michael, is not so much are our days numbered on radio, is radio's days numbered, sports radio, because of the podcast now being the way everybody now wants to consume the information.
Well, it's interesting, though. Our podcast does extraordinarily well around the country, not just here in New York. So, I mean, you could be a radio show and also be a viable podcast. But the thing that I don't necessarily co-sign with Cam, everybody's got their agenda. Everybody. When you hear politicians talk, right, they're going to give their side of things. Not the side, their side. Cam Newton's going to give his side. Anybody who has a podcast that's a player going to give his side. There are different sides to each story. So I don't think it makes opinion makers like Stephen A. Smith or Scott Van Pelt or the three of us obsolete. And I'm not fighting for it anyway. I'm in the back nine of my career anyway.
We all are.
But, no, not Peter. He's 44 years old. But the bottom line is I just don't think everybody's going to tune to athletes because athletes are going to tell their own story. Probably not the story.
It's so interesting you brought up politics because what's happening in politics?
Well, let's not get into it.
Am I sitting on the fence and listening to neutrality and deciding, or am I going to the side that I'm already on to get my information? Sports is no different. Right? Everybody accuses, Michael, you're a Yankee boy. Right? I don't believe anything you say. You work for the Yankees, so I should. Don, you work for the Rangers. You worked for the Jets back in the day. You're a Giant fan. Peter, you're a Commanders fan. Like everybody already senses there's an agenda. What happens with athletes, and I think that's why you see a lot of fans siding with athletes. Hey, I'm a fan of Shaq, so I'm going to go listen to Shaq. And yes, Shaq is going to give the Shaq opinion, and he's probably going to lean a certain way with his opinions. But if I'm a Shaq fan, I'm probably cool with that. Like, I'm not looking for the other side anymore. I'm looking for my favorite guy. So if I'm a basketball fan and I love Shaq, I'm going to listen to his show. And I don't need somebody to bounce things off of him. I don't need somebody to give the other side. I don't know if people want the other side anymore, Michael.
Well, I think that an athlete could give you an inside view of what's happening, why the decision was made. But people that didn't play the game could tell you, you know what? I don't agree with that. I understand why they say it happened. I don't agree with it because along those lines of what Cam is saying, no one could review movies other than actors. And that's ridiculous. So, yeah, Bradley Cooper could do a podcast about movies. And are we going to trust him talking about Maestro? It's his movie. So there are people from the outside looking in that could give you a more nuanced take on it.
But here's where I'm talking. Like you bring up the movie analogy. If I want to go and I want to listen to what somebody's opinion is on movies, I'm going to listen to that podcast. Well, then, yeah, you're going to want the yin and yang. But what people are saying is if there's a Goodfellas podcast, because I'm a big fan of Goodfellas, and they have all the former guys from Goodfellas on, and they got Martin Scorsese on, I don't need somebody to tell me the movie's overrated. I don't need somebody to come on that podcast and say, well, let me tell you something. You think the movie's good? I don't think it's that good. That's good back and forth, but if I'm listening to the Goodfellas podcast, I'm probably going to be all in on everything positive. If I'm listening to a Yankee podcast, Michael, do I need somebody coming on and telling me, the Yankees might not be very good this year? Or am I just looking for Yankee content, Yankee pom-poms, and give me Yankee players who are going to talk Yankee stuff? You're talking right about it being neutral and down the middle and trying to get the other side. I'm just wondering, do people want the other side?
For the record, let's just lift it all up. I mean, we talk about that with this show all the time. Does it help our show that we don't act like three yo-yo fanboys? That we try to act like journalists and broadcasters? Does it help us? I don't know.
No, I kind of think
it does.
Going the other way.
Yeah, I don't think it helps us. I think when you look around, most of the people who do what we do are screaming fanboys, and that's considered what the thing is now.
And that's why there are Yankee fans that get mad at you. because they expect a certain something from you, and if you give them the other side, they get mad. Now, I would rather be, hey, I want to give everything. I want to give everybody that opportunity. And I think you could do that on radio because I do think people, not everybody's a Yankee fan that listens to the show. Not everybody's a Met fan. Not everybody's a baseball fan. So you want to try to please everybody. So it's good to give other sides, Michael. But I feel like now we live in such a content world. Do I need to listen to the show that's on the fence, or do I want to listen to the show that is in my backyard, that believes what I believe, that roots for the team I root for, that has the sensibilities that I have? And if that's what you're looking for, then the players are going to be able to give that to you better than the athlete, than the guy that's not an athlete.
We live in a very segmented society where everybody could choose what they want to listen to, whatever flavor they want. I mean, let's bring it to politics again. A lot of conservatives listen to Fox. They don't go to MSNBC. A lot of liberals go to MSNBC. They don't go to Fox. So people are tuning in to the news they want to hear, not necessarily the news that's right or what's really, really happening in the world. They want their opinions rubber stamped. But I think there's room for everybody. It's like when Don and I grew up, we had Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 13. That was it. Those were your choices. That was it. Then cable came around. Now you literally have thousands of avenues of entertainment. That's why, except for the NFL, all ratings are fragmented now. Baseball doesn't get 30 million people watching it anymore. They might get 10 for a World Series game. 11. Only football has survived that. So Newton makes a point, but I don't think everything else is obsolete. If you want to hear from a player, go to a player podcast. If you want to hear something else, you want to get some laughs, if you want to get in what you think is hopefully is an objective take, you tune into these sorts of shows. That's your choices.
Well, speaking of people who actually do journalism and takes, from all the way from Saudi Arabia, we're going to talk to Ariel Helwani at 4:30. Get his take on the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson.
4:30. So that's 17 minutes from now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just locked him in.
Wow. What time is it out there?
Saudi Arabia's like 7-8 hours ahead, something like that. Oh, he's up there working, right? Am I wrong? You think I'm off?
Well, you just guessed 7-8 hours ahead?
Let's see. What time is it in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia? It's 12:13 a.m. This guy's up.
See, he's probably loaded right now.
No, he doesn't do anything.
So it is.
Man is not a partier
8 hours
at all.
Have you ever met the man?
Ariel's not a partier.
Ariel.
He just no partying. His idea of like a great time is...
I love Ariel, by the way, in The Little Mermaid. He was unbelievable.
No. You're confusing him with
Ariel,
who's a mermaid.
Oh, sorry.
This is an acclaimed MMA and boxing journalist.
I thought it was
and a Canadian.
Like Don would love to be.
Big Expo guy.
They
Huge.
don't exist.
But so that part of his life, he just.
Well, how could you be a big Expo guy? So
I said that you could sit there. I'm just telling
Park?
you, if you get bored with the interview, and you want to ask about Tim Wallach and Hubie Brooks and Ellis Valentine, he will sit.
Steve Rogers, you think he's going to have?
He's going to have everything right there.
All right, Gino from the Bronx wants to take a little slap at Peter, and I love that.
Oh.
Hey, Gino.
All right. So I'm not going to disrespect Peter, but I'm going to disrespect him.
All right.
Perfect. Love that stuff.
Listen, so I'm only saying because I've watched every single Penguin game since Mario came in the league. Peter, you probably only watched 3 or 4.
Whoa.
But anyway, I mean, this year.
Oh, this year. You're being generous with 3 or 4. Thank you.
No.
Why do you watch every one, Gino? You're a big Penguin fan?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've
how'd you put that together, Mike?
Very bright.
Yeah, go ahead.
You were talking about Sid and Gensel. I don't think there's any shot they trade him to the Rangers, Gensel. And with Sid, he's still playing at an elite level, but he's a class act. The trade Sid rumors, that's a social media thing, basically started by, because I wouldn't mind, because he owes Pittsburgh nothing.
No,
right?
he's given enough.
He's given enough. But he's such a class act. He'll finish in Pittsburgh.
I think you're right.
If he was going anywhere, it would only be to Colorado.
I agree with that.
Why Colorado? Why
Because
Colorado?
I think Colorado's close to winning. It's the Western Conference.
His best friend. They
Yeah, and he grew up, and Nathan McKinnon, they grew up in the same area, well, not the same time, but
now,
that would make sense.
Who are you talking about? Don, who were you talking about when you said 21 goals? I was calling, so I missed that part.
Ovechkin. I said Ovechkin kind of fell off the cliff. Sid's having a tremendous year.
Right? Malkin's washed. He's finished.
Yeah, feels like it. But you agree, they gave him the contract. They had a chance to get out of Letang and Malkin and didn't because of Crosby.
No, they doubled down.
So that's why Sid will stay, because he was a big reason that they brought those two
But if
guys
they went,
back.
if you don't think if they went to him and said, listen, I think it would really help us if we traded you away. Colorado's going to offer us something that can help us rebuild. I think if he felt they were on board and they could improve, I think he'd agree to go.
No, I just think he's such a class act that he wouldn't do it.
But if they asked that, like I agree with you, Gino, that he would not ask for the trade. But if they said to him, "Let's do this," I
just don't see him. I just don't listen. The building was half full the other day.
Right.
I just don't see him doing that with Sid. He's a all-time great. Still playing. If he was playing with anybody, they're a one-line team, right? So if their line don't produce, they get nothing. And if he left, they're starting to rebuild. I just don't see him doing that, especially with the
I don't think it's going to happen. But if you are going to try to rebuild, Michael, it's those types of moves that sometimes you have to make.
Do they still call him the kid, or is he like the middle-aged man now?
He's always the kid. Still a thing.
I guess Ted Williams was the kid.
I mean, relative to life, by the way, he's still a kid.
No, he's not. Not at 38.
Yeah, but you're born in 87.
What would you do to be 38?
I'm very happy at 63.
You wouldn't go back?
I would love to go back so I'd have more years, but I'm just as vibrant at 63 as I was at 38.
But relative, it's a kid.
It's not a kid. No, you're not a kid at 38. Charlie's a kid. Marco's a kid.
Well, fine. What about Rocky?
Rocky's not a kid.
No, listen, he wears 87 because he was born in 87. Connor McDavid's 97 because he was born in 97. He's 10 years older than Connor McDavid, for God's sake.
Crazy.
He's not a kid anymore, but the nickname
Sid the kid.
Well, Gary Carter was always the kid.
You're right. Just wondering. You don't have to jump me.
No, but
John, that conversation.
Really,
and by the way, now let's rewind the tape. Did I give away the answer to that?
You were on your way. That's why I stopped.
No, you said that I had given it away.
You started giving
Did I
information.
give it away?
You were on your way.
But you're saying I was on my way. I know exactly what I'm doing.
All I know
I'm
is
very good at this.
When there is an individual who is given the information, you just introduce them, man. You're not Cam Newton. You're not Cam Newton. Cam Newton gave all the information. So why do you have to preview it if he's giving you all the information?
I'm setting it up like a pro does.
Hey, you know, Peter, something interesting was said today by Cam Newton. Let's hear. And then he tells you the story. No, it's all about you, and it's the Michael K show, and I got to set it up.
No, are you going to defend me this time?
In this case, I'm with Michael. I don't think he gave too much.
No, of course you are, because I'm sure there's something. I'm sure there's something on the side going on.
Something on the side. Yeah, he's going to become one of the analysts on Yes.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't know. All I know is that him and Flip talk about Flip killing him about not wearing a collar. And now they're like best friends.
Yeah, but now, you know what? Flip won out because he's one of the best-dressed people on radio.
Yeah, I'm wearing a quarter zip like Peyton Manning.
But it had nothing to do with Flip.
No, I think Flip got to him.
I wonder what Flip thinks if he turns on the show. Does Flip see me with now the glasses and the quarter zip and think, look what I did? I wonder if he feels that way. Does he even know we're still on?
No, he might think that I didn't realize they moved Peter out and brought in somebody else.
Right.
No, because when you look at, again, you killed me for back in the day. When you first took over, you're a different human being. The way you dress, the way you look.
The way you vape.
That wasn't when I first came in.
You go back to, what was it, the spring of 16? Or whenever it was? I mean,
no, Ray was right. That's the best. It's the best age take of all time.
Yeah, but where is he?
We don't know. But when he called me a sloppy pig,
he was right.
He was right. Yeah. I was wearing a T-shirt. My beard had no lineup. I was a mess. I was eating ice cream.
Right. Well, you still eat on the air, consume on the air.
How often?
It's not nearly as bad.
If you do it once, it's bad.
You've done it.
Once?
No, but you have.
You do it a lot.
Don, do I
shake the ice in your drink?
I think you. Well, that
happened. Different. What? When did that last happen?
You eat as much as he does on the air.
No, I don't.
Thank you.
No, I don't.
Thank you.
No. You know what? Why don't you get a hold of yourself? Stop turning on me.
Oh, my God.
We've been together for
you
a
have your
long
little
time.
power bars. You got an empty wrapper right in front of
But
you.
I didn't eat it on the air.
I know, but
recently it happened.
I'm not even going to ask on the other side of the glass because they're suck-ups. But how many times have you heard Michael open a segment, Peter, and clearly there's saliva in his mouth?
Don't we have audio? Isn't there audio of Michael
There's
doing
Peter
something
eating ice cream. Look at him. Look at that sloppy
That's a
pig.
different
Look at that.
person.
Slop of
If
pee.
you said that was your
Look
brother
how much hair
Paul.
I had, though.
Oh, it's awful.
That's your brother Paul. People would have believed it. That's not the same human being I'm looking at right now.
The difference between that guy and me are like when it's like Steve Urkel. You know what I mean? It's like on a TV show, on a sitcom, when you have the fake twin brother.
What did you just? Oh,
It's Urkel. Not Urkel.
That was the brother.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing.
Well,
they
why
do
would
on
the
sitcoms.
last name of the brother?
I don't know.
That's weird.
You're really trying to extricate yourself from this. That's not working.
What do you mean?
You made a mistake.
With what? Urkel?
Yeah.
No, Jacob. Is Urkel a thing?
No, it's a thing. I just don't know why they made that mistake.
I don't know. I don't remember what.
Yeah, I thought the difference was Stefan and Steve. Like I thought.
Yeah, they didn't change the last name.
It wasn't his last name too.
So this is all made up?
It was just Stefan. It wasn't Urkel.
Yeah, I think it was Stefan.
I think he went by Stefan Urkel. Maybe I'm wrong.
Hey, speaking of Yes,
yeah.
On Yes tonight at 6:30, you have the Nets and the Pistons pregame show.
Throw out the record.
But then at 6:30, only on the Yes app, exclusively on the Yes app, you've got the Yankees and the Tigers tonight on the Yes app.
Wait. There's a rare
This is a rare-
Detroit.
Yeah,
You throw out the record books.
that's right.
Wow.
Brooklyn,
It's all
Detroit, New York, Detroit.
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to. Because I do pre and post.
Right.
But to do a 30-minute pregame on Nets Pistons, give me like Nets trivia or something. Like, give me a documentary on Dr. J. Like, I just.
But you don't think it's good to have Isola on?
Well, no,
People
would
love
you have
Isola.
Isola host the Dr. J documentary? He can't be the quizmaster on Nets
They've
trivia?
got a chance in a playoff.
Yeah.
You're playing the Pistons. This is more of a referendum on the Pistons than it is the Nets. I'm just saying that if I'm a Net fan, am I going to watch a 30-minute preview of Nets Pistons or Nets trivia? Or get a nice little something with a sit down with Dr.
Honestly,
J.
they should
net years.
They should just rerun the Ray call 4 times. That's content.
How about a
Now
best,
you're programming Yes.
Yes. How about a best of the K show Nets version, where we take all the things we've talked about the Nets.
It hasn't been positive though.
That's fine.
But Don, you're taking you of all people pre-post. You're taking money out of Frank Isola's pocket.
No, but Frank runs point on all this.
Oh, he
Well,
set it
what
up.
about Bob Lorenz then?
Bob
And Chris
Lorenz.
Sharon and Nancy Newman. What are you doing?
I would almost bet my salary
Right.
that they're on salary. They would enjoy the day. I get them on. I'm sure Bob Lorenz would be like, Don is making some salient points. I could sit down and watch a movie with my wife tonight, take her out to dinner.
Donna is her name.
Oh, really?
Yep.
He's
Lovely.
a very good person.
He's great. He's great at what he does too.
Yeah, and he deserves a night. He doesn't.
So this is the night you give him.
He doesn't deserve to host a
Would you
30-minute
give like
pregame on
Piston
Nets
stuff,
Pistons.
like the microwave, Vinnie Johnson, all that, and
Oh, I'm into
Adrian
it.
Dantley, or it would be net centric?
No, it's a net centric. It's
Gotcha.
the Yes Network.
Nice, interesting. All right, so when we come back, we're gonna go to what is it, Saudi Arabia?
That's right,
Yeah,
Riyadh.
Riyadh,
Yeah,
where it's late
after midnight.
after midnight.
Is that?
We're gonna let it all hang out.
Oh, I think you were doing Thriller.
No, you'd know if I did Thriller.
It's
I would
after
moonwalk.
midnight.
Can you moonwalk? I can.
No, you can't.
I can moonwalk.
Really?
All right, when we come back.
No, let me do it right now.
All right. Yeah, I want to say this. You
Can
really
do
want
it
to do
up
this?
on here? Like, people aren't going to be able to see
Yeah, climb up on the desk.
Let me see this.
Why are you doing this? It's a bad idea.
It's also out on a rug.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It was nothing, Don.
I was
it's on a
expecting
rug.
less. I was expecting
You're
less.
expecting less?
I was expecting
Less would have been he just dropped dead on the floor, and that's it. End of story. Say goodbye to Michael.
Now, if the net pregame had that, or their 3-point percentage, shots during
Well said.
Thursday games,
That's content right there.
come on.
You think you get better numbers if I did the moonwalk?
Oh man, you kidding me?
I'm just saying. I think those guys that work their tails off on that broadcast deserve better. You've said it yourself.
I never said that they deserve better.
That like Iron Eagle.
Okay,
That's not the the Mona Lisa in the garage.
doesn't matter. He's one of 30 play-by-play guys.
I don't think he's complaining.
No.
I'm just saying if I was programming, yes, you'd.
So
see
you wouldn't even
different
show
things.
the game.
No, I'd show the game. We're obligated contractually to show the game. I'm just saying a 30-minute listen, I've been in those situations. I did 2-hour post games on like Jet 9-0 losses. Believe me.
Anyway,
I would rather do anything else than that.
Let me do it again. 6:30 net pregame on Yes. 7 o'clock game, Nets and the Pistons, and then a Yankee Yes app exclusive spring training game, Yankees Tigers. It starts at 6:30,
Sure.
and we're gonna have Ariel Helwani come on in just a moment to talk Tyson against Paul. But first, Don's going to talk about bathtubs.
Don LeGrec here.
The Michael Kay Show.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Now, get 1.9% APR for 72 months on Ford F-150, only at your local Ford store.
Was easy. Call Whites and Luxembourg today at 855-VERDICT. That's 855-VERDICT.
The chicken or the egg? The question isn't which came first. It's which comes with peanut butter. Duh.
I'm an actor in an ad that was given 12 seconds to remind you that if you're high, just don't drive. Because if you feel different, you drive different. It's illegal to drive high everywhere anyway.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
You know, when I take the bike out like this, all my stresses just melt away.
I hear that. This bad boy can fix anything.
Yeah, tough day at work. Nice cruiser sorts you right out.
When I'm riding, I'm not even thinking about my painful cavity.
Oh, you shouldn't ignore that.
And every time I get stressed about having to pay my bills, I just hop on the bike, man.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta pay your bills.
You don't have to worry about anything when you're protected by America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Well, you definitely do. Those things aren't related, so...
Yee! Oh, that is a vibrating pain.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
Spring training is blooming on Yes, and we're your home for the Yankees with all the action from Steinbrenner Field. Watch the biggest names, the best prospects, and the newest Bronx star, Juan Soto. Yankees coverage continues tonight at 6:30 on the Yes app. Presented by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Please just leave me alone.
All right, our opening story today was about Mike Tyson getting back in the ring, and I guess it's an exhibition. It's not going to be sanctioned against Jake Paul. And Peter, really, he combs the earth to find guests that fit the talking points. And Peter, you've done just that.
Well, that's right. Well, I could wax poetic about Mike Tyson all day, but I want someone who knows the nitty-gritty of everything when it comes to the fighting world. And in fact, a man who's on the ground in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, because tomorrow they expect the ring walk to probably be around 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to get Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua. And our friend Ariel Helwani is there covering the fight, and wanted to get him on the line to talk about the Tyson-Paul story. What's up, Ariel?
Gentlemen, how are you? I like that you called me your friend, Peter, because you guys don't text, you don't call. I was starting to wonder, since it's been like 4 years since I've been on. So I'm happy to hear you still like me. You really like me.
And you know what? I would text, but I don't have your number, so it's hard to just text into the air.
Ariel, you told me don't give Michael my number.
No, that's not true. When I was a little kid, I used to watch the Knicks post-game show on MSG, and I would see Michael sitting there in that little, like, closet next to my heroes, and all I thought was, how do I get that job? How do I get to be as cool as Michael K? So even when Michael takes the subtle shots, I know he's not a combat guy and says, combs the earth like I'm some dreg of society, and you guys are just filling airtime. There's nothing else going on. Even when he takes that subtle shot, it's still an honor. I'm happy that you're taking that subtle shot.
Wow. You know what? Those days with Al Troutwig, they were beautiful days, and I would never take a shot. And also, Ariel, I don't do subtle. Peter will tell you that.
Yeah, that's right. He likes it.
I'm like a hammer.
Yeah, believe you me. So, Ariel, I want to ask you about your thoughts on the Ngannou-Joshua fight tomorrow, too. But first of all, were you surprised? Did everybody know the Paul Tyson thing was going to happen? Take us through how we got here.
No, it completely came out of left field. I was just in Puerto Rico last Saturday watching Jake Paul fight a guy by the name of Ryan Borland, 17-2 going into that fight, and Paul just completely annihilated him. He won in less than a round. It was like 2 minutes and change. Second time in a row that he fights someone that no one's really heard of, and that they didn't really do the big.
And that Ariel, correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't really do the big Paul press machine leading up to these two fights. It's almost like they were knockouts that you put in your music montage leading up to the real fight.
That's fair. I think that's fair. This particular fight last weekend in Puerto Rico was more about Amanda Serrano, who, of course, reps New York, but has Puerto Rican, heritage, and it was a huge homecoming fight for her. Unfortunately, she didn't end up fighting, but they sold it out, $1.5 million gate. It was a pretty big deal. And so, yes, it was a highlight reel type of thing. They were trying to build him back up. And, now kind of putting the pieces together, building him back up for this moment. This has been in the works for quite some time. It's not like it came together today or yesterday. They had the promo and all that stuff done. And this is a really big deal on multiple levels. I know a lot of people are focusing on the Tyson thing, and rightfully so. But this is Netflix's first foray into live combat sports. I know the WWE deal is starting in January of 2025, but no one saw this coming. Is this Netflix just dipping their toe in the water? Is this a one-off? Or is this Netflix saying to the ESPNs and the DAZNs and the Amazons of the world that we're coming, Apple as well, we're coming for live sports? Because as you guys know, live sports is the only thing that's left as far as appointment television is concerned. If Netflix, which has the biggest, platform there is as far as streaming is concerned, 260 million subscribers. If they're in the game now too, it's a game changer.
All right, so Ariel, let me ask you this: you've seen Jake Paul fight many, many times. Do you think Tyson has even a scintilla of a chance to win?
Oh, 100%. Jake Paul is 9-1. I would still consider him somewhat of a novice. He's a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for. And even the last two fights that we were just talking about, those are the types of fights that Canelo, Crawford, Tyson Fury, all the best boxers in the world are fighting when they're 8-0, 9-0. But he gets held to a different standard because he's famous, he's coming from YouTube, he talks a big game, etc. But you know how it is. You know, guys will fight, quote-unquote, cans for their first 20 fights in boxing. So no different. Mike Tyson, we last saw him in the ring in 2020, November of 2020, and he had a quote-unquote exhibition with Roy Jones, but he actually looked fantastic. Now, I understand that was 4 years ago, or, you know, by the time this fight happened, a little less than 4 years. But still, he actually looked amazing for his age. Do I feel a little bit uncomfortable with the 30-year age gap? Of course. And the rules and the stipulations have yet to come out. We don't know if it's an exhibition. I think the fact that it's happening in Texas makes me think that it actually won't be an exhibition, but we don't know. Texas is known to be a commission that is a little bit lenient when it comes to these things.
Shocking.
We don't know how many rounds. We don't know what the weight is. You know, there's still a lot up in the air at the moment. But, yeah, it's kind of surreal to see these two guys on the poster together.
So if you believe Tyson can win, is Paul's career over if he were to lose this? Where would he go from there?
And by the way, hello to you, Don. I didn't even know you were here. You weren't talking.
You know,
wow,
the name
this is
throws you off.
amazing.
I
The
get
whole gang is here.
But I appreciate you. And Michael's got some Expo questions to ask you before it's all over.
Okay, no, I mean, Don, I love your brother, by the way. He does a tremendous job with the wrestling. Way better than Peter, if I'm being honest.
I brought you on. I'm the reason you're on.
Wow.
I didn't know Peter was there. Sorry. Peter, you do great. You haven't had me on your pod in forever, though.
That is true.
The Rock didn't rip Peter during his promo.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
That's a good point. No, it would be a major blow. But again, you know, right here in this country, which I'm calling you guys from, Saudi Arabia, last year, Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury, and everyone said he was done. And he's won 3 fights since. So he has a tendency to, you know, as the great Roddy Piper once said, how about this segue? Just when you think you have all the questions, he seems to change the answers. So I wouldn't rule him out, even if he loses this fight on July 20th.
But my feeling on this, Ariel, and obviously I'm a big Tyson guy, I believe physically Mike will be okay. I choose to believe that he'll handle this fine from a physical standpoint. So I see this as a real win-win for him. I mean, Mike's going to get a huge bag of cash, and he probably won't win, but if he does, what a beautiful exclamation point on his career. Mike hasn't had a meaningful win in 25 years. He hasn't had an actual win on paper in almost that long. So I don't know, man. How do you see it? I see it as a real win-win for Tyson. I don't think there's any downside if he loses to Jake Paul, who's 30 years his younger. What's the word I'm looking for? His junior? There you go.
They found it.
Yeah. Yes, 100%. I mean, anyone who's close to 60, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with fighting. But again, he's not fighting, you know, he's not fighting Anthony Joshua. He's not fighting Tyson Fury. He's not fighting a top 10 heavyweight. And I think it's important to note that Jake is nowhere near that. And also Jake typically fights at cruiserweight and not heavyweight. So that's why I'm curious what the weight is going to be. So yes, I am very curious as to what the rules are. But again, it's Netflix. It's huge for his career. It's huge for Jake's career. If this was just like a regular pay-per-view fight, you know, I would be like, man, $60, this and that. But it's going to be free. It's not on pay-per-view on Netflix. Like, if you're a Netflix subscriber, you get this fight. And I'm very curious also as to what they're going to do on the undercard. Are they going to use this as an opportunity to build actual young, up-and-coming talent or other stars? I think that would be the smart play because so many people – this could arguably go down – you know, by the time it happens, as the most watched fight in the history of fighting, period, given the subscribers that have Netflix all across the world. So very curious to see. And to your point, I think most people our age, and I'll include all of us in this discussion, are going to watch this maybe with their hands over their eyes and say, come on, Mike, please don't please don't let your lasting image in a ring be a knockout loss to Jake Paul. And I think a lot of people are going to want to will Mike to win this just so it doesn't end up that way.
You know, we talked about this at the beginning of the show, and Ross Greenberg, the legendary executive producer of HBO, called in, and then we asked him, what do you think that these fighters are getting? And he said he would guess $20 million apiece. Is that what you're hearing?
I haven't heard the amount, but that doesn't surprise me at all. And Ross has certainly been in the fight game for a long, long time. It's 1,000% in the seven figures. The question is 8 figures and then high. You know, how high up into the 8 figures are we talking? But this is a really, really big deal. There's no doubt about it. And to Peter's point, Mike Tyson isn't doing this for a small bag. He's doing this for a big bag. There's no doubt about that.
So it's very late there. You have to get some beauty sleep because tomorrow's the big day. I do not remember the last time there was a meaningful heavyweight bout on a Friday. But that is what's happening tomorrow on DAZN here in the U.S. We'll get Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou, and I'm curious for your thoughts. I see Joshua is a heavy favorite. After what I saw from Ngannou in the fight against Fury, Ariel, and I know you were very impressed by him, I kind of think he's got a better shot than he's been given by Vegas. How do you see the fight going down tomorrow night?
I couldn't agree more. I'm captivated by this. That's why, I was excited to get the assignment. Francis is one of the greatest stories in sports. It's a shame more people don't talk about him. This is a guy who used to dig sand mines as a youngster in Cameroon for $1 a day. Saw Mike Tyson, actually, fittingly enough, on TV, 10, 11 years old, and says, I want to be that guy. And so when he gets a little bit older, he leaves Cameroon and he gets on a raft and he goes from Cameroon to Nigeria to Algeria and tries to make his way over into Europe, but he continues to get arrested. He continues to get found by, the Coast Guard and put in jail. And he keeps failing and coming back. Eventually, he enters France. He's homeless for a year, living in a parking garage, and finally finds a gym, which he thinks is a boxing gym, that ends up being an MMA gym. And so the coach who's there, Fernand Lopez, says, oh, yeah, I could turn you into the next great MMA heavyweight. So he goes down that path, becomes UFC heavyweight champion, but always wanted more and wanted to become Mike Tyson. So now he fights Tyson Fury in October. He shocks the world. I thought he won that fight. And now
you were wrong, but he was very good.
Pro boxing.
He just said you were wrong. Could you believe that?
Him down. No, it's crazy. And he even knocked him down in the third. At worst, it was a draw. At worst. In any event, now he's fighting the third best heavyweight on the planet in his second pro boxing bout. It's absurd. The man doesn't know what impossible means. He just goes out there. He's been through so much already. None of this phases him. He's very confident. The boxing media, the boxing pundits, they still don't trust him, believe in him, and I think they're making a mistake. Ultimately, does he win? Who knows? But I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be a fascinating fight. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a Friday afternoon fight over in America. So, Michael, what else would you rather do on a Friday afternoon at around 5 or 6 than watch two behemoths go toe-to-toe? In the words of the great Gorilla Monsoon, this is the second coming of WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome, the irresistible force, the immovable object going toe-to-toe. This is it right here.
I think I'd rather do this show.
Yeah,
but, before I let you go, so you're in Saudi Arabia right now. It's midnight, past midnight. Do they have, like, King of Queens there, Friends? I mean, can you turn on the TV and see American stuff?
Absolutely. And they've got, like, Shake Shack here and Raising Cane's and Domino's. It's becoming a lot more westernized. I wasn't sure what to expect. And there's still a lot. Alcohol is illegal here. And I think it was only 5 years ago that women were allowed to drive. So, a lot is changing, and there's a lot more that needs to change, and there's a lot that we can get into as far as the history in the past. But what they have done, in the world of football, soccer, and in the world of golf, they're viewed as disruptors. They're viewed as the guys who are taking the stars away from, like, the regular circuit, if you will. In the world of fighting, they are viewed as saviors. They're putting together fights that weren't being made because of politics and promoters not wanting to work together. So it's really interesting to see the juxtaposition of how fans and those sports feel about what they're doing here. Nevertheless, they are huge fight fans. They're making big fights, and, that's good for fight fans all across the world.
Let me just tell you this, okay? When I was younger, covering the Yankees, and I was in a city, and, you could get Domino's delivered, You order Domino's right now before you go to bed, Ariel, right? And then put a steaming hot Domino's on your chest and just sit there and watch TV and just eat slice after slice. You'll love it.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah, that is. I live the dream.
But Ariel,
after that, I mean, what more?
But you have to understand the details here. Michael claims that he would put the actual pizza on the chest, not just the box.
Right.
The pizza.
And then I have to pick out the hair on my chest out of the cheese.
Yeah, it's really disgusting and disturbing.
Why'd you say that? I want to have him on again.
Yeah, well, I like
you know what? Ariel knows how to play, and he knows he idolizes me. He said he does.
So obviously he likes this too.
Yeah.
Ariel, you still idolize him?
No, absolutely. I respect the man who was comfortable enough to say that. But actually, if I'm being honest, my respect for you has actually grown tenfold. A lot of people would shy away from that, sugarcoat it.
No, I embrace it.
Into it.
I embrace it. I embrace it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fight tomorrow. Thanks for coming on.
All right, Ariel. Be safe, man. Have fun.
Thank you. Yeah, and when the Expos come back in like 15 or so years, I could come on again then. So just let me know.
Yeah, all right. It's a date.
We look forward to it.
All right, perfect.
Hey, this is Michael K. letting you know that employee...
From knead the dough to knead it now. So many ways to save. Life ready, wallet happy. That's 365 by Whole Foods Market.
FanDuel Casino has your chance at the #1 feeling, winning. Winning ranks higher than any other feeling, higher than number 30. Saying, I told you so.
Told you so.
Higher than number 89, the feeling of catching your car keys with one hand. And number 78, thinking it's Friday when it's really Saturday. New players get 200 chances at winning with their first deposit on FanDuel Casino.
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app and get one free. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO. It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
You still got a landline in your house.
Order now on the Subway app.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
It's go time in Brooklyn, and we got Grit.
Mikel Bridges has got a highlight.
We got Gay.
On the Quacks attack.
We got Goals.
Schroeder, does he have the hot hand? Yes, sir.
We got Nets versus Pistons tonight at 6:30 on Yes and the Yes app.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
I'm starting time for dinner.
Oh, it's really
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
In an election year, the stakes are higher than ever. So we all need to take extra care with the information we believe and share online. It feels good to have our views echoed back to us, but it's important to challenge our biases and break out of our bubbles. Be sure you're getting some hard news in your media diet, and double-check what you see on social media with a variety of credible news sources. Be informed, not misled.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life, posing a real threat to your family's comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights, no refrigeration,
no heating or air conditioning.
The winds are not letting up at all here. We're going to see some power outages.
The number one thing to prepare for is extended power outages.
Are you prepared? You can be with a Generac home standby generator. When a power outage occurs, your Generac home standby generator automatically powers up using your home's existing natural gas or propane, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Stay tuned to get over a $500 value free on the most popular home standby generator in the world.
With the Generac, we don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come through, our Generac does.
Having a Generac takes a lot of the anxiety out of there's going to be a storm.
After the hurricane happened, we just want to be prepared for anything.
Generac generators are designed, engineered, and built in the USA. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac and have thousands of satisfied customers.
How many times have you heard people say, I never want to go through that again? Well, the next time that you go through it, don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
Call or go online now to request your free quote with one of Generac's nationwide dealers. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call or go online now so the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm sorry.
What's that?
The James Harden deal didn't age very well. Ben Simmons out for the remainder of the year again. I mean, wouldn't it have been everybody jumped on me when I said, wouldn't it have been better to make Harden play and leave as a free agent? Isn't it better rather than having this albatross contract?
I think somebody had a big article about that today. I forget where I saw it.
I didn't see that.
But they were thinking the same way as you. Might as well just wrote it out.
It makes sense because Harden has some pride. He wouldn't have played terrible. He certainly would have played better than Ben Simmons has played.
Well,
and I'm not doubting Ben Simmons.
It's not even about playing better. He's playing.
And I'm not doubting Ben Simmons' injury. I mean, there's something wrong with his back. But it isn't. We talk about like bad deals in sports history. That's one of them, baby. I mean, you got James Harden, who's going to the Hall of Fame, and you traded him to a division rival.
Right.
For Ben Simmons, who can't play, can't stay on the court, cannot play.
Well, the thing that probably doesn't make that deal that awful is that Harden's not even in Philadelphia. You know, because so Harden probably would have asked out at some other point, too. It's still a horrible deal, don't get me wrong.
Simmons has played 57 of a possible 190 games since the trade.
And, you know, I'm not very good at math, but that's way less than 50%.
Yeah, it's almost 25%.
Good job, Don.
But
oh my!
And the Nets still have a chance. The Nets, of all the teams that have a chance at the playoffs, have the second easiest schedule in the NBA. But are they good enough to take advantage? Do they go in and do they beat Detroit tonight?
Well, if they don't, Michael, they're only. How many wins do they have with Ollie? Just the one?
3. I think they have 3 now.
Because they lost. They've
won 3 of 4.
Oh, no, that's right. They were losing until they swept Atlanta.
Right.
And then they had the
then they lost to the Grizzlies.
Philadelphia.
Right, and then they beat Philadelphia.
Right. But I wouldn't say that the move it coach worked.
No, I mean it's a cover your backside move.
All right, 12 games under 5. You know, you're in, but it's the play-in.
No, so what?
Look at I know, but yeah. Peter, you know what I'm saying? Are you really in? Like, you're in the play-in, but are you really? What are you doing? Look at the teams that are around them. You know, the Hawks are ahead of them at 28 and 34. God. Everybody from 9 downs under 500. I mean, I'm sorry.
That's a cliff after.
No, but you get the play in, and I get you're trying to make the regular season games mean more and all that, but you got a bunch of under 500 teams competing for what? There's no Miami there. None of these teams are making a run.
Also, the Knicks, some good news today. OG Anunoby is playing 5-on-5 in practice.
That's what they're saying.
So we shall see. Have some college news. In a battle of top 10 teams, second-ranked UConn defeated 8th-seeded Marquette on the road, 74-67, for their first top 25 road win in a decade. That's hard to believe.
For the team that's it's number one.
That's odd. That was the Hoop Update, driven by Nissan, coming at you with all of the excitement of a Hollywood blockbuster at the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event. Shop impressive savings at NissanUSA.com.
You know what's very underrated about Dave Rothenberg?
Tell me.
Maybe you know this. His incredible in-depth knowledge of college basketball.
Yeah.
Like, we think about him as being a Giant guy and a Met guy and a maniac. But he knows his college hoops, man, big time. I would venture to say maybe the best on the station.
Can I do a deep dive on the maniac aspect?
Maybe, definitely.
I told Don this earlier.
Cross is close.
I told Don this earlier. I didn't tell you. So I was in the car. I had to get my final rabies shot today. So I was in the.
How'd it go?
Hold on.
It was all right. And Rick and Dave are talking, and Rick is telling Freddie Coleman, who was on as a guest, that Dave took his oldest son, Ben, right? Is his oldest son?
Yes.
Yeah. Ben wants to go to Princeton. So they did a tour of the Princeton campus. And Dave, he got this is a 50-year-old man, right? You know how he got dressed up to walk around Princeton campus? Put a New York Giant T-shirt on. I mean, at what point do you grow? I love Dave. I really do. But there's issues here. And then there was a Princeton student who sees Dave with his belly hanging out underneath a Giant T-shirt and says, playfully goes, go Eagles. You know, Dave says to the student, your mother.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
That can't be true.
That's the way Rick told the story, and Dave didn't deny it.
You can't.
Where's the drop, Anthony? Where is it? Here it is.
That's... To say it's troubling is an understatement.
Where's the drop, Ant?
Left side, Ian, and audio.
I don't
says
have
Dave,
that.
says your mother.
Oh, yeah,
your mother. Your mother.
Really? He said this to could be a 17-year-old college student. And also, if I'm taking my kid to Princeton, if I'm taking Charlie or Callie on a tour of Princeton, I'm probably wearing a sport coat.
Yeah,
I'm not wearing a Giant T-shirt.
To show some respect. Have you ever been to Princeton? I mean, first of all, it's an Ivy League school, so it goes without saying. It's one of the most beautiful campuses in the world.
And he's walking around in a Giant T-shirt like he's 11.
Ben would be very fortunate to go there.
Right.
And your father's all slovenly saying your mother to people. Like, what if Ben's got a legit chance to go to Princeton and now will not go to Princeton because of his father?
It's on the table.
How would he feel? No, honestly, how would he feel if Ben wanted to go to Princeton, was accepted to Princeton, and couldn't go because of that incident?
He wouldn't care. He wouldn't care.
No, I mean, Ben would care.
I mean, by
but Dave wouldn't care.
By the way, this is the same man who was bad-mouthing my wife today.
He bad-mouthed your wife?
That's right.
What did he say?
How would you describe what he said, Anthony?
Audio on its way.
Audio's on its way.
That sounds like a 5 o'clock.
That's not how I would describe it. But
on a day like this, it's a 5 o'clock.
That's a man who has integrity for the clock.
All right, man, when we get back.
What are you doing? Do you even know radio anymore?
Me?
Yeah, you. I'm looking at you.
What did I do?
You're calling for like another story at 4:58.
Perfect. We'll get to it after 5.
Yeah.
Well, we're not leading that about him talking about Natalie.
Why not?
First of all, I will not have anybody have anti-Natalie stuff.
Oh, we have it already right now. You want to hear it now instead?
Here's 22 seconds, yeah.
Hey, listen, in fairness to Michael, my best friend, I mean, this is, Peter did kind of put it all out there on the holiday greetings or whatever you wanted to call it.
Yeah, she was juggling all over Brazil.
You are.
He put it out there, not me.
We have to, like, date you today.
I wouldn't let my wife juggle like that on Instagram.
She didn't juggle. She jiggled. She didn't juggle.
And there wasn't much jiggling. It was
no, there was some jiggling.
Because Michael studied this. He knows exactly what
I have a freeze. It's my screensaver.
So just an update for following Dave Rothenberg's life.
Yeah,
he doesn't know that men and women kiss on a first date.
Right.
And he wouldn't allow his wife to wear a bikini on Instagram.
And he walked around the Princeton campus like a homeless person.
And when a student said, "Go Eagles," he said, "Your mother," to a child. That's what happened.
All right. Think about that, everybody. We'll come back and pick it apart next, right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest.
Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of my buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just saw it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Hey, Joe. 5 old diesel, fountain pop, lunch. Hey, buddy, you all right? Stupid old work boots, clunky as bricks. You ought to get you some Brunt boots. Comfortable, lightweight, durable, and waterproof. You want to try them? They're just comfortable sneakers. Yeah, they are. I'll give them back. Hey! Who stole your boots?
Try any of Brunt's gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Tired of pointless meetings?
So in this meeting, we're going to plan the next meeting to schedule other meetings.
There is nothing more pointless than unproductive meetings.
What about watching grass grow?
Nope.
What about pushing the crosswalk button repeatedly?
Nope.
What about bringing sand to the beach?
Nope. Thanks to ClickUp, now all of our communication and work is in one place. It allows our team to collaborate remotely and finish projects faster.
ClickUp, all your work in one place.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Home Chef's family menu is making it easier than ever to sit down and eat together. Our fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and simple recipe steps are just a delivery away. Home Chef's family menu, solving family dinner one meal at a time. Get 18 free meals at homechef.com.
You're watching Yes.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly. To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
World champions. Back on top. This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Dan Gross in the building.
That means Don's happy. little gross in the morning.
Visibly happy.
Visibly happy. So, we talked to Aaron Rodgers yesterday.
Friends with somebody. Isn't that sick?
Oh, he just said visibly happy, not me.
Well, because it's funny, but then you got to take it too far.
I didn't say visibly happy. He did.
No, but he knows I'm joking.
Yeah.
You're the one who doesn't understand
You're
friendship.
disturbed.
Everybody could joke, but not me.
But it's been going on for a long time.
You two have an unnatural relationship.
I don't.
You do. I'm sorry.
And yet
and I'm happy for both of you.
You have some weird love relationship with Rick, who you barely know.
I know Rick very well.
And Don is his dear friend, and
I've
you
known
think
him
he's
for 20
weird.
years. He started interning here in
Do you know what happened on the morning show? Some guy called in. I guess Rick was looking for a driver, and a guy said he was a driver and he would drive Rick for. And then he happened to say he hated Michael Kay, and Rick said, "I can't work with you then."
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
That's what a friend does.
That's nice.
You would never do that for.
Sure, I would.
For Rick. Maybe
I would do it for Don, not you though.
We know.
Well,
We know.
The ride.
So we talked to Aaron Rodgers yesterday. So he loves to talk. Today he was on the Keep Hammering Collective, and he was asked, "Is this Jet team a title contender?"
You know, I like our guys. I like our coaching staff. We just got to put it all together. We got a fan base that's super, super hungry and desperate for wins, and I think we got the right guys. We got a good group of really talented young guys. We have the rookies of the year from a couple years ago, and Garrett Wilson, and Sauce Gardner, top corner and top receiver. We got a couple guys behind him. We're also incredible rookies and coming off great second years. Jermaine Johnson had a big year for us as defensive end, and Breece Hall, our starting running back, who had a phenomenal year catching the ball, had like 600 yards receiving, I think, and had a ton of yards rushing for us. And he's a game breaker. So we got to shore up the offensive line a little bit to add a couple guys there, maybe get another receiver. But I like our chances. And, you know, I feel like if I'm out there, we always got a chance.
Like that. Cocky. Cocky.
You know, what else is he going to say?
No.
Right?
If he's out there, he brings everybody up to it. And when he's not, they stink. He talked about the frustrations of getting hurt last year.
So disheartening and heartbreaking about last year was the work that I put in at 39 to put myself in a position to be able to play the whole season. I mean, I grinded. I came back, you know, as fit as I've been in a long time, and hired a chef who helped me, you know, with my diet and constant body work and stuff, just to like be able to get through the season, and then play 4 plays was really, really tough, especially with all the excitement around us with Hard Knocks and new team, and we were playing on 9/11. You know, it was just a beautiful, beautiful night before that. So I got to stay healthy, beat back Father Time a few more years, but I like our chances.
I've decided to get a chef too. Chef Boyardee. He's gonna make things right for me.
That, by the way, that's the kind of chef you would like.
Yeah.
You're kind of
Italian stuff, sure.
But that would be nice to not have to think about it, right? You get home, dinner's on the table, it's healthy, it's been prepared, you know that it's quality.
Well, when you get home, you see tuna helper, right?
I never had tuna helper. I've had
we
hamburger
both plenty are.
Or tuna helper.
And I haven't had
hamburger
helper.
But you love hamburger helper.
But the kids don't like it.
But you're the breadwinner.
Yeah, but I'm also not the chef. I mean, it's hard for Nancy. There's a lot of things going on. They had ice skating yesterday, and then you can sit down and she prepares an unbelievable chicken soup. She makes amazing chicken soup.
Interesting.
And then me, the yo-yo, I put the leftovers away.
Right.
But the bowl was still hot.
Broke.
So I left it out.
All right.
Figure I let it cool before I put it back in the refrigerator. You know, and then it was like 1:50 in the morning, and she's up and she sees that I didn't put it back.
What, did it ruin it?
It was out for like 5 and 6 hours.
Try it.
Well, we boiled it, and we'll see what we're going to do with it. But no, she works so hard, Michael. I can't ask her to go out there and make me. Can you make me some meals that are healthy? No, she makes meals. But I'm talking about. Imagine you have a chef.
Why, you've got the money. Get yourself a chef.
Well, you say it like it's anyone would think it's crazy. If someone has a lot of money.
Yeah.
Is it one of the first things you do?
Yeah.
Go chef? I think that's one of the first things you do.
But that's a lot of money.
Well, no, you got to get to. Where do you go first? Well, you like to drive, right? You wouldn't want a driver.
No,
I would.
But if you had that kind of money, would you want security? Because you have enough money now for that. So would you have security also?
No.
You wouldn't want security?
No.
So you don't want a driver. You don't want security. Is the first thing you do then chef in terms of like a housekeeper, an everyday housekeeper?
Yeah, oh my God, yes.
Do you guys have no housekeeper?
No housekeeper.
At all? Ever?
No.
Not even occasionally?
Nancy doesn't like people up in her business.
Is that what it is?
Well, I just didn't like the fact that we had to clean the house before they came.
No, see, that's defeating the purpose.
I understand, but it still happened. Because you want to be presentable, and I think this is defeating the purpose. But
I write on crayons on the wall before the person comes in.
red rum.
Once a week.
How you have once a week?
Once a week.
Don, you never have you guys ever had?
We did back in the day.
But with kids, you don't want it even more now. Like a nice. It sounds like he does. Sounds like he
Nancy
wants.
runs.
But it wouldn't be for me. It would be for Nancy.
Just be helpful. So, all right. So, housekeeper's out. So, you go right to chef if you get rich.
Chef would be amazing.
So, I was thinking, like, I played Mega Millions because it's really high.
Why not?
And
You need more money.
And money finds money.
I started to think if I won, the first thing I would do, I would hire armored security, an armored truck to take me to the lottery office. Because I would think if I drove there, well, what if I got carjacked? I would have armored police with me constantly.
But you're not going to have the cash on you, so what does it
you
matter?
have the ticket. If you don't have the ticket, you don't get the win.
Oh, so you need it with the first.
Yeah.
But why would anyone know you have it?
Yeah.
I don't want to take that chance. Anybody could get robbed at any moment.
This is really how your brain works.
Right, and then it's like $600 million. So I'd bring home like 305. There'd be armed security constantly around the house, and with me all the time. I wouldn't leave the house without a big, burly, armed.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
You think you'd be more in danger just to be rich than you are to be well known?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't have that kind of money that people would like kill somebody for. But if somebody knew you had $305 million, of course, you'd never get near me. Not even you. Nobody would get within 10 feet of me, including Jody.
That sounds really, really pleasant.
Yep. That's the way I envision being rich.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
You see things that way.
You don't think that Jeff Bezos has armed security around him all the time?
$300 million is ashtray money to
right.
Jeff Bezos.
And you don't think like Zuckerberg has like
that? But that's ashtray money.
But still, for
if you get to
criminals,
if you get to a few $100 million, I think you definitely want security at your home.
Yeah,
and with you.
I don't know that you need it with you.
First of all, I would definitely keep the Yankee gig. So every like the broadcasters park in the parking lot with the fans.
Well, no, but you're
so
already,
that would be. But there would be somebody armed with me all the time walking into the stadium.
But you don't even like a driver. You don't even like car service.
No, I would drive them.
They'd sit shotgun.
Yeah,
you drive them.
They wouldn't. They sit in the passenger seat.
They better be your best
have security with him when he walks out of the building. Does Aaron Judge have security everywhere he goes?
Great point. Well, could that be point guard?
I don't know. I mean, good security.
Everybody. Not only do they know he's rich, they know exactly how much money he makes
and who he is.
And he's recognizable, and
he doesn't park in the fans' parking lot.
But if he goes to the Willowbrook Mall, does he have armed guards around him?
I bet you famous people can't go to a mall unless they have guards.
But like when I see Aaron Judge at like a basketball game, I don't think he even has security with him.
But the Knicks provide security. There's security on Celebrity Row.
But do you think when he gets outside, he has security waiting for him always?
I would think.
No, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't think I'm telling tales out of school, Peter.
Go ahead.
And Billy Crystal's rich. You were basically a security getting out of Madison Square Garden that night, right?
No, basically around it. I was a security.
And it wasn't like he was asking for it. I mean, everybody knows he's rich. And he's bothered. He's famous. He's very recognizable.
But he's not $300 million rich.
But he's rich, and but that's somebody that, according to Michael, would maybe need security to get out of the garden. He left with everybody else. I mean, you helped him out, like where to go, where it's not a mob scene. But it wasn't like security escorted him out of the garden.
Frank Isola just texted me if I won. He said, first thing you'd get is a girlfriend, whether you want one or not.
It's a great point.
I wouldn't want a girlfriend.
Oh, why don't you ask him?
I have a wife.
Well, why don't you text him my Nets trivia?
He's watching right now.
But I want to know if he likes it.
Do you like his idea about
do me a favor. Do me a favor.
There he is. Look, there he is.
Now, I don't want to put him in a tough spot.
Right.
So he's heard it. Frank, not if you've heard my idea
it's not dead
for the 30 minutes. Do a trivia. Do something. Don't break down the game tonight. You're better than that. Text him my phone number. Just text me thumbs up, thumbs down, whether that's something you'd have an appetite for. He could be the quiz master of Nets trivia.
I don't
a walk down memory lane.
But I don't want to give him your number.
How about a Nets yearbook 02?
He said thumbs up. Yeah, he liked it.
No, because you know what?
He gets it, right?
I think we have a chance. We've never had the time. I have a feeling that if we had the time,
you'd be friends with him.
We would be very close.
I don't think you would.
Now you're just saying that to be mean.
No, he's just cooler than you.
Well, so you have to have equal coolness to hang with somebody?
Yes,
Peter's clearly cooler than me. I consider him a friend.
Thank you.
He doesn't consider you that close.
Of course he does.
No, if I did a show with Frank.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like if I did that NBA show with him on Sirius.
Right.
I think we'd go after the show because it's a morning show. We'd go out for breakfast after. We'd hang.
Every day.
Families would get together.
Every day.
No.
First of all, his kids are in their 20s. Your kids are in your 5s.
No, I'm talking about the couples go out to dinner or something.
Gotcha.
Right? I mean, I think I really like Frank a lot.
All right.
And I think, given the opportunity, he'd really like me.
I'm not sure. I don't think that would happen.
Text him my number. I want to have some.
No, I don't want you two to have each other's numbers. He'll give me thumbs up or thumbs down. By the way, did you see who showed up at Yankee camp today and took BP?
I did see that.
Yes, has
Russell Wilson.
No, close.
Very close.
Baker Mayfield.
No, yeah. Did he ask about accommodations? Is he going to stay after the game, live there, go to bed, stay the night?
I think Steinbrenner Field is much smaller than the Cleveland Stadium. Oh, look, they're taking BP, left-hander, and a late swing.
Way.
Yeah, I think that was a late swing.
But that's a nice swing. Though.
Not bad. Hey, an athlete is an athlete.
No, that's not true. You've seen NBA players throw out first pitches, and there's people getting hurt on the first base.
I saw Stephen A. Smith throw out the first.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, but that wasn't good.
No, but I do think
it wasn't what you want.
Not what he wanted.
No,
baseball's different. It's a different set of skill sets, right? Like you've seen.
No, hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports.
But I just think the whole mechanics of it too,
of throwing or
both. I think.
I got to tell you, I was in my. I have not been able to get a hit in a charity game in years. Oh, did I get one? No, I got one in Don's game in the last couple of years. But I generally just ground out over and over again. It's really pathetic. Mm-hmm. But I've been happy with my throwing and catching at these games, which is not, to Don's point, it is awkward as you get older.
Speaking of throwing,
yeah,
Oswald Peraza, supposed to be one of the 2 Yankee backup players, sent for an MRI. Throwing still not right. Mm-hmm. They said he felt like a little tightness there, and then they played him, and then now it's hard for him to make the throw across the diamond. So
you hate tightness.
Getting an MRI. Xavier McKinney was on the very popular Up and Adams show with Kay Adams, and he was talked about the contract negotiations with the Giants.
Well, obviously we've had talks, and we're trying to figure something out, but I'm just pretty much being as open as I can. I've expressed it as much as I can if I wanted to be back, but ultimately it's not really my all up to me. So it's something that we both had to come to a mutual agreement. Like I said, hopefully we can get something done, but if not, I understand it's business.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if Don and Peter will agree. I think Joe Shane is playing 3-dimensional chess. Go ahead, Xavier. Go see what you can get. You know how many safeties are out there on the market right now? The Broncos just released Justin Simmons. Yeah. 8 seasons with the Broncos. A top-of-the-line guy. Mm-hmm. Always their Walter Payton Award nominee. You can have your choice of any of them. The more of something that's out there, the less the price is going to be. Same thing with Barkley.
Well, that's what's also flooded, the running back market.
Yeah.
I mean, the Giants are actually being pretty shrewd here. It's like, yeah, we'd like you back. But if you think you can get more money elsewhere, go ahead, knowing he probably won't because there's so many players out there, and then basically have all these teams negotiate for him and then hope that they come back and say, yeah, you're right, the money isn't out there, so what are you offering me? And if they do find something, well, then there's other safeties that you can now go sign.
And the problem with, they're not accepting what the Giants are offering them, Giants are going to sit and wait until you bring something back. They're not going to do that. If they get something that they think is a fair price, you're out. They'll sign the other player. That's the same thing with Barkley. They can't wait while all the running backs are coming off the board, while you're discovering exactly what you want to do. They're going to take a chance, and they'll sign somebody. So I think we might not know what their plan is, but I tell you, I think they have a plan.
No, yeah, they definitely have a plan, and the plan is to bring quality players in at the price they want. Xavier McKinney is an outstanding safety. But if they can get a safety of similar ilk for $1 million or $2 million less, then that's where they're going to go.
You know what safeties are?
The running back of the defense.
Yeah, running back of Jays.
And both of those
first baseman
are
of football.
Hmm?
First baseman of football.
Yeah.
It's all about where you play.
I always look, with the sound that we have, something that would interest either Don or Peter. This will get Peter's attention.
Okay.
Ron Rivera, former Commanders coach,
current Commanders coach,
was on with Carlin and Joe today, and he was asked, "Is there anything you would do differently in Washington?" What do you think he said, Peter?
Anything?
Not take the job?
No. He's going to say...
I like this first answer of anything.
He would have given Taylor Heineke the starting job.
Now, here we go. Here's what he said.
You go after Justin Herbert right off the bat. I mean, you take a quarterback with that pick. The one thing we didn't have that would have helped us going into the draft is we didn't get to, because of COVID, we didn't get to have the veteran mini camp that you have, where you bring the guys in, see who you got, see what you got, and make decisions. We had to go off of what we were doing on Zoom. So we didn't get our hands on people early. We didn't get our hands on until everybody showed up for training camp, and then we were still separated because we had to do things by Zoom as well, other than practice on the field. So, yeah, I would have done, Chris, just to be honest, some things differently.
Did they have a chance at Herbert?
What year Herbert was 21?
I guess.
I don't remember. He was 2020, 6th overall by the Chargers.
And did they have something in the top 5?
We went 2 and got Chase Young. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was the Giants shouldn't have won in overtime game.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you feel bad because Chase Young is a good player. Now I got to play in a Super Bowl. But you look at the top of that draft, and, man, Joe Burrow's up there, Andrew Thomas for the Giants. Tua Tagovailoa went 5 to Miami. Justin Herbert, 6.
Oh, too bad. Danny in Long Island. Danny.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Michael, if you happen to win the lottery, I will volunteer my services to be the bodyguard as long as I get to go into the games for free. I think that'd be an exciting life. I'll tag along.
You know what? You got it. But I'm going to need other people, too, not just you, Danny.
Well, you need to win the lottery.
I have 2 sons that have gone into the family business, so they can, round the clock at the house. We work it out. Sort something out.
As long as they're heavily armed.
Yes, at all times. Now, I would like to shout out a sports story from South Florida today. May not have made the news. I'd like to congratulate my 87-year-old mother, Marge, whose bocce ball team won the semifinal at La Boca Vista.
Wow.
They move on to next Wednesday's final.
There you go.
2 out of 3 against the favorite, and now they move on. If everyone's, as my mother said, if we're all here still next Wednesday, we go on to the final. So congratulations,
so
Mom.
Your mom is literally taking it day to day.
Yeah, but you know what? When I was talking to her this morning, she couldn't give me details at 7 o'clock because she was on her way to the golf course. How's that for 87?
That's great.
Well, strong.
Good genes, Danny. Good genes.
Good Irish stock. And here's another sports story, which when I read, I couldn't even believe I was reading it. There are people in Kansas City today, according to this article, are now approaching the point where they may need to have amputations due to frostbite that occurred during the coldest football game in history when we laughed at people out in the cold. One guy has to have his fingertips removed because he removed his gloves off in the parking lot to put up his tent. There are still 13 people going through, it's probably inpatient, but they do hyperbaric chamber. Do you realize what the damage people, they said they'll never be the same. Unbelievable. The NFL made people actually go out in life-threatening weather and watch a game.
Well, you know what? They didn't make them. They didn't have to go. I mean, I would not do it. I would not sit in that sort of weather. I'm sorry. The game's on TV.
But, he lost his fingertips because he needed to put up his tent because no matter how cold it was, he still wanted to go out there and tailgate.
Right.
So, listen, I get what you're saying. Should that game have been postponed because it was too cold? It was dangerous. I remember the Weather Channel was talking about how they shouldn't play the game, how dangerous it is. But if you lost your fingers because you took your glove off because you wanted to put the tent up so you can tailgate, there's one thing going to the game and protecting yourself and then still feeling like it's one of the coldest games of the century, but you still want to go out there and tailgate.
But why didn't the players lose their fingers? They didn't have gloves on.
I don't know. Well, they probably...
some of them did, but not all of them.
But they were probably keeping their hands in their jerseys. They've got hand warmers on the sideline. Listen, I'm sure people got frostbite, but I'm sure the people that did were irresponsible, didn't glove correctly, didn't clothe correctly. Listen, if you want to be a yo-yo and have a no shirt on, Is that really on the league, or is that on
Great
the guy?
point.
You know,
that decided
I
to
think
have
it's
their
on.
shirt
I think it's on the networks. You take your shirt off, boom, you're on TV. Don't do it. They shouldn't be focusing on those wackos.
It's a fair point. But,
so it's on the networks.
But you're still an idiot if you do it.
Yeah,
of course.
Never consider.
You see what people do to get on TV.
I see what people do to try to get a free T-shirt that's not gonna fit them, getting fired out of a cannon
with a huge sponsor right across the front of it.
Dumb, and maybe the people that are dumb should be held responsible. How about that?
Oh boy, you'd have a big jail. I don't know if you guys know this. Garden of Laughs returns to the theater at MSG on March 27th, benefiting the Garden of Dreams Foundation. The all-star comedy lineup features Bill Burr, Michael Che, not Kay, Michael Che, Chris DiStefano, Jim Gaffigan, Heather McMahon, Tracy Morgan, Sam Morril, and Jon Stewart. All hosted by our good friend Steve Sciarippa, who will be in studio with us on Monday, by the way. Support the Garden of Dreams Foundation and have a great time doing it. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Do you think I'd be funny doing stand-up?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Don?
No, you wouldn't be. You're too insecure, and I don't mean that as a shot at you.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you'd be able to handle a day where maybe nobody's laughing at your jokes or heckling you.
Well,
I think it takes a special type of courage to go up there and tell jokes.
But why are you thinking? I'm not saying whether I couldn't handle it. But what would say if I stood up there and did stand up and was really funny? Why don't you think I could be funny?
No, you could be funny, but even the best comedians have a dead room or have a joke that doesn't go over.
I think I would slay.
All right.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean?
I make people laugh
in one time out.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard that job is?
I get it. I do a hard job too.
Do you know how many years that they
I'm
work?
not saying I'd be Bill Burr, but I'd make people laugh.
And you'd
I've got funny stories.
And
like the stories I tell you off the air, I tell them on stage.
I get it. You do tell funny stories, but like, I don't know. I've done it. I've been on stage many times.
Well, I'm funnier than you.
That's just simply not true. But I'm not saying I've never done badly. Well, no, I did. My one stand-up thing's bad. But, like, in hosting comedy shows, you obviously do bits and do jokes. And sometimes you get laughs. But then other times you're like, this is not the radio. I don't want to be doing this. It's such a different
business.
Thing. Yeah, I don't know why you think you just walk up. You think any yo-yo could just walk in and do a radio show and be good?
No, but I think I can do stand-up. And I think that if I dedicated my life to it, I'd be one of the top stand-ups in the country.
There's no. It's funny. I get called an egomaniac on this show.
You have been,
Don. Does this guy's his ego knows no bounds?
I'm funny. I'm smart. I've got great stories. I'm a good writer. I'd be unbelievable.
But it doesn't. But it takes more than that.
I would be playing the Garden within 4 years.
Within 4 years,
if I dedicated my life to doing stand-up, I'd slay. But I just don't have a lot of life left.
It's just disrespectful to these people and their craft.
It really is.
I said it would take me 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years isn't very long. These people, in 4 years, the average great comedian has accomplished nothing.
I'd have the greats helping me. Larry David would help me write something.
Okay, well, in that case, I could have a stand-up special next week and slay. Chris Rock could write it for me.
It's the way you deliver it. I don't think you would deliver it well.
Oh, really?
I would deliver it well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
When we come back, more of my future plans right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The next Powerball drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to customink.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our custom ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to theblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
With Yes Rewards on the Yes app. What a move! Watch live games and earn points. Play the hottest games and score more. Earn status, then redeem your points to win prizes. Yes Rewards on the Yes app.
So much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player. It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
World champions, team of the decade.
The Yankees are back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Back here for the Michael Kay Show. The Brooklyn Nets announced earlier today that Ben Simmons will be shut down for the season so he can meet with specialists and explore treatment options for the nerve impingement in his lower back. The Nets are 3-2 since Simmons last went down and 4-2 over their last 6. Tonight they start a stretch of 10 of their next 11 games on the road. And that trip begins tonight in Detroit against the Pistons. Our coverage begins with the pregame show at 6:30, followed by opening tip a little after 7. It's the Nets and the Pistons. Coverage starting tonight at 6:30 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
Well, you can really see why Don likes Dan. Dan's a good guy. Dan just came in during the break. Terrific person.
Yeah, and he's an old soul.
Yeah, Steve Lawrence has passed away. My sister's going to be crushed. Steve Lawrence of Steve and Edie.
Yeah, I'm not particularly familiar.
Yeah, well, you're missing a lot.
I guess 88.
88's a good run. Now, I wouldn't sign up for it, but that's a good run.
Also, you guys badmouthed me earlier saying I made up Stefan Urkel.
Right.
That was his alt name.
Okay.
His alternate personality when he went into some machine was Stefan Urkel.
I tried to tell you twice during the break. You didn't have your headphones on.
Yeah. Jacob tried to tell you twice.
I'm sorry, Jacob. Well, Don was recording God knows what. Michael.
Well, God knows what. You'll see. and because we were in that groove, Charo, her age came up. We didn't know.
How
She's
old is she?
73.
I would think she'd be old. She must have been really
She was born
young.
in 51. So all those, when she was doing stuff, it's like she started, it said
must have been a
in
kid.
63. She was a teenager, a young teenager. Now you feel weird about it now.
No, but when I started knowing who Charo was, she was probably 25, 26.
She was going
Charo was Sofia Vergara before Sofia Vergara, but with no acting talent like Sofia. But she can dance.
Shakira, kind of like a combination of Shakira and her, because it's kind of similar aspects, if you will.
Do you think that this
Speaking of
show
wiggling.
today is ready for the hit and miss king of all time, JJ of North Carolina?
I think he hits more than he misses.
No, he misses a lot.
He hit last time.
No, well, let's bring him in. JJ, let's see what you got today.
You know what?
A miss.
You know what? A lot of people don't know this, but I'm hearing after Jake Paul loses to Mike Tyson, to get back in the good graces of critics and fans, he's going to challenge Brandy Scott to an exhibition.
Is that true?
We'll have to ask her. She's doing her last one. So.
Oh, yeah, we'll ask her in a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, that's a miss.
I just want to say, you know what? How dare you? With all your clown jokes and your horrible takes and your ridiculous
The
food
dad
habits.
jokes are bad. The food takes are horrible.
What kind of comedian do you think Michael would be?
Oh my! I would leave in about 5. I mean,
You wouldn't be invited. You couldn't get into my. You couldn't get into my show. First of all, I wouldn't allow you. Second of all, you don't have the money to get in. Because I charge $500 a pop.
Right, and a 2-drink minimum.
That's true. I think, in my opinion, this guy is the best caller in TMK's history. He's a former Long Islander like myself, Danny in Long Island. He just makes his point so great. He's so funny. He knows like the context of the show. He knows you guys well. He goes from point to point. I think he's just a great guy and funny guy all around.
You know what? I can't disagree with you, JJ.
Well, yeah.
You don't like him. You still have a grudge.
No,
against him,
I
right?
don't. I don't know. I love Danny. I think Danny's a solid caller. I think,
and a solid human being.
I've never met
I want to have a drink with him.
Wow, strong.
I've met him. He's a good guy. He gave he had treats for Bear. When
No,
we saw him at the
he's. I just listen.
Yeah, he's the best.
Do you remember recently? Who are we talking about, Don? That Don was willing to vouch on this person in our industry and say he was sure that they were a good person.
I remember. I don't remember.
And I was like, how can you say you're sure? You don't even know this person. Danny does seem like a good guy.
Yeah, who was that, Anthony? Do you remember? Somebody's going to have to remind me.
And I remember
on social
someone
media.
came in and was like, really? It was one of our colleagues, but we just don't know the person. Don is willing to vouch for people quickly.
No, it's Jeff Van Gundy.
Oh, yeah, Jeff Van Gundy. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, he was sure.
I am positive. I'd be shocked if there were skeletons in his car.
And I'm just saying, I feel really good about the fact that Danny's a good guy.
I'm going to tell a story out of school about Jeff Van Gundy, and Mike would probably get mad that I'm telling it, but I don't think it's... So Mike Breen says the only good thing about being on the road, because he's on the road a lot, Mike is a foodie. He's unlike me. He eats everything. He tries everything.
He's a man with taste.
And he goes to the best restaurants, and he said that's the thing that makes him, accept the fact he's on the road, because he can go all these great restaurants. He said Van Gundy did not take part in these reindeer games. Like Mark Jackson would go, and then the producer, the director. Van Gundy would go to a Wendy's or a McDonald's, order something, and bring it up to his room.
Yeah.
You
told us this before.
Yeah, Jeff is that guy.
He passed on their dinners every time.
Yeah, he's just not that. He's not a social guy.
But it's like, isn't that part of the whole thing of the road that makes it bearable? Is that you have camaraderie with like your road?
You know what? After being on the road, like now this will be my 38th year. I go right up to the room most of the time. I mean, I want the camaraderie because of the people I work with, but yes. So we'll go out every now and then, but I'd rather just eat in my room.
More often than not.
I'd say 98%.
98. So you only go out for a few meals a year.
Maybe 4 or 5.
Now, in defense of Michael, because I go through the same thing, road with the Rangers, you're doing a show, too. Like, it's one thing if you were just going on the road for the game, you'd have this free time, but after doing 3.5 hours of radio...
Right, do you feel like then also...
it's a lot.
Leo in L.A. Leo.
Hey!
Hey!
talking to Mike. Okay, listen. The level of disrespect from that last caller was absurd. Mike, you would be a tremendous comic.
Thank you, Leo.
Tremendous.
Thank you.
Okay, I moved to LA from New York 5 years ago. I found the podcast like 2 years ago, and people must look at me like I am a lunatic driving home because I'm cracking up in my car from the three of you guys.
Thank you, Leo.
It's unbelievable. I love what you guys are doing. Peter, you know, I was a Hot 97 guy, so I always listen to you. I had my doubts. You're killing it.
Oh, sweet man.
Yeah, and, you know, Mike, sometimes you could be a terrible guy, and I love it. It is great.
See, thank you for saying what needs to be said.
Exactly the same person you are, because it is just 100% pure entertainment.
Now, let me ask you something. Before I let you go on, Leo, do you think I'm a bad guy, or do you think I play one on the radio?
Oh,
Be
I
honest.
think you play into it tremendously.
So I'm not as bad as you think.
Well, I wouldn't know that. I don't know you on a personal level. Maybe you are, but I don't think so. It seems to me like you just like to play into it. You like the attention it gets. I love when you get at Peter with all the wife stuff. It's just hilarious.
Thank you, Leo.
So
Thank
good.
you.
But he knows you're a bad guy.
I play a bad guy on the radio.
When we say Michael's a bad guy, we're just kidding around. When we say he's a freak, or at least when I say he's a freak, I'm telling the truth.
Wow.
He's a freak.
And the no eggs and the
No, Don thinks another level of freak. That's what he's talking about.
But Leo, if you listen to the show yesterday, he likes to make out with his eyes open.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat.
That's right. My boat.
Well, that's the thing about being a freak.
Nobody gets hurt by me open my eyes. Nobody gets hurt. There's no victim if I open my eyes.
Victimless crime, you're saying.
We all have our things, right? Pete is a grown man who's really into wrestling. It is what it is.
I love Leo.
Don't judge. Just take it for what it is.
That's not the same thing.
What do you got, Leo, other than compliments? What do you got?
Yeah, what I was going to ask you, and I know this is just a crazy out there kind of question, but it feels to me like the quarterback situation for both the Jets and the Giants is just, and man, it's like torture. Listening to this and seeing it, I mean, you got one team with this 40-year-old guy talking that he's gonna play until he's on, until he got AARP, so he's collecting Medicare. You got the other guy that they drafted with so high up that's clearly just a mediocre backup quarterback. Like, is it really just going to be a waiting game forever with these two teams till they actually have a good quarterback? Or you have somebody like Russell Wilson who just shook loose. I mean, my God, that's somebody who you could say, all right, maybe he's had a couple of rough years, maybe he had a bad coach, but imagine him on either one of those teams and what a difference that would make. But instead,
I don't think Leo. I don't think he fits on the Jets. I mean, the Jets are in.
Giants, maybe.
The Giants with a minimum payment, and then let the Broncos pay the rest. I mean, if they want to win, if they draft McCarthy and they say, "Oh, let's keep this guy for a year," because we don't think Daniel Jones can be healthy, I could see that.
Yeah, I could see
So he's
that.
not a long-term answer.
But it seems like, these general managers are so concerned about good teammates, and it just seems like there's something up with Wilson that just makes it difficult in the team aspect, in the locker room. It seemed that way in Seattle, Denver. But for a minimum wage, it would be worth a try, wouldn't it? Just to see. And if it doesn't work out, if he ends up being, everything that people speculate, then you just let him go.
And the word today is that it looks like it could be Pittsburgh. They're interested, and he's interested in them. Jonathan in L.A. Jonathan.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Jonathan.
How's it going, Michael? Michael, I have to call you. So I'm going to go to opening day with my 6-year-old son. I was really fortunate to go last year. Now we're going this year. We're making it a tradition thing. And my wife's...
opening day in New York or in Houston?
No, in Houston.
In Houston? Okay.
In Houston, yes. And she's asking me to ask you if it's dangerous for a Yankee fan to go with a 6-year...
No.
Okay.
No, the Houston fans are fine.
Okay, also, I always have you on the TV right here, all the way from LA. Every time I pick up my son, I always have you on. And my 6-year-old son, last time we were eating lunch, and out of nowhere, he just told me something. And, well, here, I'm going to let him ask you. Go ahead. Or him tell you. Go ahead.
Michael K looks like a grandpa.
Wait, what?
What?
He looks like a what?
What do you think?
Michael K looks like a grandpa.
Yeah, you know what? You young man, you're right. With this beard, even more so.
That's it.
He meant it to.
Pusick.
Oh, the Pusick.
No, Jonathan, your kid's right, and have a good time opening day. I look much older, I think. And I think if your hair was dark, Don, and your beard was dark, you'd look much younger.
Yeah, but how would wouldn't it be weird if I just walked in and all of a sudden my hair was darker?
Well, no. The ship sailed already.
Yeah.
If you had been coloring your hair as it was starting to, then I think that you could do it. Like
Yeah.
Mike Breen, the ship sailed.
Right.
But when if you just have a head of white hair, you're going to look older.
But his son watches the show and thought you look like a grandpa.
Right.
Didn't say me.
True. Well, he thinks you're Santa.
That is interesting. Didn't they? Yeah.
Interesting in the way I say it, or really interesting?
No, that is interesting that he doesn't think Don looks like a grandpa because he's all gray, but you look like a grandpa.
Yeah, I feel like one. And you know what? My age would indicate that I could be a grandpa. I could be a great grandpa.
Yeah, you could be many grandpas.
Yeah, but I'm not anything but a dad.
You know what? Hell of a dad you are.
Hi, everybody. This is Michael K. letting you know that.
It's going to feel like home. It's going to be electric.
This is the Yankees flexing their muscles.
I think he's just going to elevate everybody in that lineup.
He has the right demeanor to pitch in the Bronx.
When you play in New York, the expectation is to win a championship.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
What is that? Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too.
That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? Don't do that.
This reminds me of my bike.
The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way?
Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really? Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
Welcome to Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from home any season, anytime. See game speed pitches from more than 600 pitchers. Get ready for game time with game simulations. Face your friends in live competitions. And train like the pros with expert drills and metrics to track your progress. So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life, posing a real threat to your family's comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights, no refrigeration, no heating or air conditioning.
The winds are not letting up at all here. We're going to see some power outages.
The number one thing to prepare for is extended power outages.
Are you prepared? You can be with a Generac home standby generator. When a power outage occurs, your Generac home standby generator automatically powers up using your home's existing natural gas or propane, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Stay tuned to get over a $500 value free on the most popular home standby generator in the world.
With the Generac, we don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come through, our Generac does.
Having a Generac takes a lot of the anxiety out of there's going to be a storm.
after the hurricane happened. We just want to be prepared for anything.
Generac generators are designed, engineered, and built in the USA. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac and have thousands of satisfied customers.
How many times have you heard people say, I never want to go through that again? Well, the next time that you go through it, don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
Call or go online now to request your free quote with one of Generac's nationwide dealers. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call or go online now so the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
If you watch Yes Network on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download the app to stream the Nets and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes rewards. So remember, if you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Show. Carlos Rodon was in the Cy Young conversation in the 2021 and 2022 seasons when he pitched for the White Sox and Giants. And that's the guy that the Yankees are hoping they will see when the team breaks camp at the end of the month and heads to Houston for their first series of the season. It's not what you saw yesterday afternoon, but he's working on things in its spring training. He'll get at least 3 more starts under his belt in Grapefruit League play before that trip to take on the Astros. Tonight, 30-year-old Luke Weaver will make his 3rd start this spring when he takes the bump against the Tigers. It'll be exclusively on the Yes app beginning at 6:30. Remember, if you get the Yes app on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Territorial restrictions apply.
Tyson fight. I delivered some haymakers, and I scored a win. You know, it's nice to get back on the board.
That if you didn't win today, when would you have win?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It would have let me know the fix was fully in. The fix may still be in.
Right.
This may have been to, like, knock me off the trail a bit.
Right.
But I'm proud of it.
So where do we stand going into tomorrow?
I think it's wide open.
Somebody might keep.
I think it's 1-1-1-1.
Yeah, 1-1-1 and a listener.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Oh, wow.
That means tomorrow someone has to bring the ruckus.
Tomorrow's a rubber game. Let's go. You know what? A show like this, you have to talk to Richard.
I knew it. And he's got to have an old boxing stat of some sort.
Hi, Richard.
Hi, Michael, Don, Peter. Look, the National Hockey League and the Major League Baseball playoffs are broken. But I don't know. The executives may want to keep it this way. They love Boston Bruins losing in the first round. They want to see World Series, Texas, Arizona, because as Cashman said, it's a crapshoot. Here's how you can fix it. It's sort of like what John Smoltz said last week. First of all, baseball, every series should be 7. The first 2 games are home games for the worst-seeded team. 1 day of travel, next 5 games, home team, better seed. And that's how you do it throughout the playoffs in baseball and in hockey. That's how you do it. So 2 games for the worst seeded team, home. 5 games for the higher seeded team, home. And then you divvy up the money from the gate receipts any way you want. But you only have 1 travel date. That's why you can have the first series in baseball best of 7 instead of best of 5, which they're doing now. So the better teams, you don't know who wins.
Yeah, but your basic premise is incorrect. I mean, they were not. They were not thrilled about the World Series.
Well, I think the
being
networks
Texas
were.
and well, yeah, that's what counts.
Yeah, but I do think
I don't think the NHL was happy Boston got knocked out in the first round.
The networks, but I do think inside the leagues, they like to see the small market teams make runs. because they want to show that they justify that, hey, we deserve to have a team in Arizona.
But Texas is not a small market. Arizona, okay.
Listen, so I'm sure Gary Bettman was not upset to see the Florida Panthers, a team that he's trying to keep in Florida, make a run, win over fans in Florida, get them excited about the Stanley Cup. It's always nice to have the Rangers and the Bruins and the Flyers involved, but to get some of these smaller market teams to get those markets excited about their sport, I think that's what they want. I think Richard's right. I think the networks frown down on it, but they've already spent the money on the networks. So the networks already spent the money for the league. So I don't think they worry that much about that.
No, I think they worry a lot about the networks. They're thinking about the next deal. And you can't make the first round 7 games. So
no,
if you want to
do that.
If you want to do it, make the first round 5 games, and all 5 games are the better teams home.
But I do think that the teams, like the team that wins the President's Trophy in the NHL, should get more than just one extra home game in the first round.
I agree.
If you wanted to have where it's 5-2 or 6-1, and that makes the regular season fun, because then there would be incentive to finish with the best record instead of just saying, all right, listen, we're in, and I've got home court or home ice for the first couple of rounds. I'm good. Mail in the final week and rest everybody. Now you would see teams really try to get that 1 seed if they had that kind of an advantage.
So we usually get 1 or 2 calls every couple of days. Why are the Yankees signing Trevor Bauer? Well, Trevor Bauer has signed to pitch for the Asian Breeze, which is a touring team of players mostly in the Asian minor leagues. And I guess the thing that's a carrot for him, I believe that the Asian Breeze is playing the Dodgers in Arizona in a week. So he probably has made an arrangement that he's going to pitch against the Dodgers. Now, if he shuts down the Dodgers and that lineup, because the Dodgers are going to open up on the 20th or the 22nd in Korea against the Padres, so they're going to want to play their regular players then. Does he get an offer then? But to this point, nobody. Not one bite.
But you said it really had nothing to do with his ability to pitch. It's just the allegations were so heinous, nobody wants to bring that on. So let's say he goes and pitches great. Is that going to change your mind? We all know he's a quality pitcher, Michael, and for the minimum wage, anybody should be able to take advantage of it and take a chance on him. But really, is your mind going to be changed no matter how well he pitches on what he's been accused of doing?
Well,
because that seems to be the reason, right?
Well, I think that's the main reason. The other reason, he didn't pitch that great last year in Asia. He did okay. And there's concern about, with no sticky stuff, is he going to be able to pitch the same way?
But all that, you talk about minimum wage. You bring him in, you try him out. If he's no good, you cut him. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot for teams to get over what they know.
Apparently so. I don't know. Fans refuse to give up on this.
Because it's
fans don't care
now.
First of all, we don't know what he did. I guess fans could say, well, maybe he's innocent. Maybe he didn't do anything. Maybe, but
he wasn't charged with it. I mean, all charges were dropped.
Is that
Major League Baseball still held a year suspension.
But do we know officially what he was accused of doing?
I think we have ideas, but we don't know everything.
So fans can be like, well, we have ideas. We don't know. I just want to see my team win a championship. If they saw what these owners have seen and maybe know a lot more than the general public, why do I feel like they'd still be like, all right, I still want him?
Don, if O.J. Simpson was 32 years old and what happened, there'd be teams of football fans that say, why don't they sign O.J. Simpson? It's just how fans are. They don't care. They just want production. They don't care about you, what you've done. They don't care.
It's an interesting question. Is it, like you brought up, O.J. Simpson's a really good analogy. Because you could, I guess, if you were a football fan, say, I don't think he did it.
And also, he was found innocent.
Right. I don't think
not guilty.
He did it. But do you think fans, Peter, it'd be interesting for you.
All right.
That if he said, I did it, and I do it again, would you want him then? Or would you take the allegations and just doctor it up in your head? Well, he didn't really do it. He was framed. I'm sure this is all just a stunt.
Do I think that the people who are saying this, even if he said he did do it, would still want him?
Yes.
I think most no. I think there's some who don't care, particularly about...
Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to get too political here, but there's candidates that allegedly have done terrible things. Their supporters don't care.
No, but I'm going to go there.
I'm still going to vote. I'm still going to vote, yeah.
Do they believe he did it and don't care? Or do they believe it's all made up? It's a witch hunt. He never did these things. I think it's more the latter. I don't know.
It's a good question.
Because I think
this is different because political figures these days, a lot of people follow like cult figures.
Right.
This is just a player you want on your team. You want him so bad that even if you knew he did.
Well, I mean, OJ was found not guilty, but he was found guilty in a civil trial. Fans would still be clamoring for him to be their running back. They just would.
Right.
That's how the game is.
Would those fans say, I don't care that he killed his wife and her boyfriend? Or would they say, I don't believe he did it?
I think they'd say, I don't believe it, and I'd still have him as my running back.
Right.
I believe that they would try to trick themselves and say, well, he was found not guilty. They wouldn't care about the civil situation.
OJ's so complicated and convoluted, though. It's like there was so much more baked into that than a simple trial.
No. Jeffrey Dahmer could throw 100 miles per hour.
Dahmer, my fashion icon.
Yeah. You know what? More of this when we get back with ENN. Right? I do. Right here on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
My name is Corporal David Marshall. I served with the 84th Infantry Division and fought in the Battle of the Bulge.
At 98 years old, he's a strong supporter of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. America should make a promise to all our heroes to take care of their families. If you're catastrophically injured, that we're going to take care of you.
They need the support. They need the help. They can't do it alone.
Go to T2T.org. Thank you, and God bless America.
The chicken or the egg? The question isn't which came first. It's which comes with peanut butter. Duh.
On FanDuel Casino, you can play hundreds of games, like Buffalo, Fort Knox Cleopatra, Rich Little Piggies, and more. And you'll get up to $1,000 back in casino bonus on any first day net loss. That's what you get with the #1 rated casino app. Sign up for FanDuel Casino and get up to $1,000 back to play it again.
Okay, so Domino's Perfect Combo includes 2 medium one-topping pizzas, 16 Parmesan bread bites, 8 cinnamon twists, and a 2-liter of Coke. Today we're on the street asking real people how much they think it all costs.
All of it?
All of it.
$44, $45?
$34.99.
The 2 pizzas are probably 10 each.
75. What if I told you that this Domino's Perfect Combo is only $19.99?
Shut the front door.
$19.99?
No.
This will feed a family. It's Domino's Perfect Combo, and it's all just $19.99.
For centuries, the world's best pizza has been baked in ovens made of stone. But you can't put one of those on the countertop in your home. Introducing Paisano, the authentic pizza oven by Granite Stone. Now make the world's most delicious pizza with real stone right in your own home. You simply set it and let it make golden, crispy, extra cheesy stone-baked pies in under 6 minutes. The secret is the dual-controlled heat zones that quickly heat the real ceramic stone up to 800 degrees while melting the cheese and crisping the crust so you can stone-bake just like the pros in under 6 minutes. Look, take any pizza dough, sauce, add your favorite toppings, and you're making gourmet pizza with Paisano. Paisano lets you create large, family-sized pies. You can even watch it rise through the window, thin or thick. Your pizza comes out crispy and quick. Even stone-baked, better-tasting frozen pies in a fraction of the time. You could even make a s'mores dessert pizza. Plus, there's no gas, wood, or charcoal needed. Paisano is electric, plug-in, and portable. Great for tailgating and RV. Look, you'd expect to pay over $500 for a professional pizza oven, but you can get your Paisano pizza oven for just 4 easy payments of $39.99. Paisano comes with a 10-year warranty. Plus, these professional pizza peels and the authentic recipe guide, yours absolutely free. And for everyone who orders today, we're going to drop 1 payment. You get it all for just 3 easy payments of $39.99. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. For the best pizza in the world, it's Piezano. Paisano. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-675-7863. That's 1-800-675-7863 or order online at mypaisano.com. Call now.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
Download the Yes app and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes rewards. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to ENN. That's it?
Ray Rowe.
On TV.
Hey, jeez Louise, Papa Cheese.
What's going on?
I'd like to start off tonight's ENN by saying a big hello to our friends at Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisi and do it.
Get some!
Yeah!
Now, let me start off by saying good evening to Michael.
She didn't
your mother.
juggle. She jiggled.
Oh, boy.
I don't remember that being. Did you send video or is it just a picture?
Yeah, it was a picture. How would you know?
No, it was a video.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was our greetings. Our greetings from.
It was terrific. She didn't
your mother.
Juggle. She jiggled.
And to Don.
You're not Cam Newton.
And to Don.
He's not going to do a thing for you. Not a thing. He won't do nothing. Zero.
Your mother. And to Mike Tyson.
Spinal.
And to Mike Tyson.
David Rosenberg.
And to Dave.
Your mother.
Wow.
How do you do that?
Was Tyson calling you David Rosenberg? Is that
David Rosenberg.
He used to always, it took years for him to call me Peter. Years.
And you could still consider him a friend?
Yeah, it was part of his charm. He knew another Dave Rosenberg, and for some reason, he just always called me Dave. We did a full episode of our Hot 97 TV show about that, and Tyson was on the show, and we played it out as a storyline on the TV show. I got to act in scenes with Mike Tyson, me as myself, him as Mike Tyson. It's pretty fabulous. You know what, Don? I won't tell Michael. He doesn't care about my life, my career, my journey, or anything about me as a man. But I would tell you, the Hot 97 TV show is on. You can watch it on Amazon.
Okay.
On Amazon Prime. You have to pay for it. It's like $20 or something for the season. But it's there, and the Tyson episode it's fantastic.
Was this like when like Stern was on Channel 9 back in the day? Remember that?
I do.
No,
during the Butt Bongo Fiesta days.
No, it's not like a Butt Bongo Fiesta. It was like a fake reality show. It was like a comedy reality show, essentially.
Was Ebro in it?
Yeah. Interested now?
Yeah.
That
interests me.
Will you pay the $20
for Ebro?
It was Ebro, Flex, myself, Cypher Sounds, Angie Martinez.
Oh, this is Hot 97.
Right.
I was on 2 episodes.
You were on episodes? What'd you do?
I think Cypher Sounds was doing like a coffee thing one episode.
Yeah, you remember that? And you were interning?
Yeah, I was the guy he came up to. I was on the street team at that time.
Wow.
Look at that. That's full circle.
All coming together.
A very young, new at the station, Laura Stiles was on the show.
Well, now Michael's.
Yeah, he might be in. Miss Info, the great Miss Info. It was a who's who. We had our special guests were incredible. We had an episode that Kanye appeared on. We had
Did he have a hood over his face, a black hood?
10 years ago.
So he was different then.
He did not wear a hood then. Macklemore was on an episode.
Sensori there?
Macklemore was on?
He Sensori. She was like 10 years old.
She's not 20 years old.
Well, whatever. He didn't know her. We had a Mike Tyson episode, a Macklemore episode, an Iggy Azalea show.
What happened to the show?
It lasted for 1 season and got canned.
Where'd this air?
VH1.
How does that stay on?
It was because it wasn't great. It was good. It had funny moments, but the problem was their intention at first was it to actually be a reality show. And then us and the one showrunner, the lovely man who's done really well on TV, a guy named Ian Gelfand, he was our showrunner. Us, the stars of the show, and him, we're like, we're not doing a reality show. We're just going to make this funny. Like, we're not going to try to hype up beef within the radio station. We're going to make this straight up The Office and just pretend. And that's what we did. But the problem was you're dealing with the network who was trying to edit it to still force it into being a reality show, and it just didn't work. But there are episodes that are damn funny, if I do say so myself. Should watch it.
Spinal.
Here's a good evening, Dave.
And this college student at Princeton walks by and says, "Go Birds." My reaction was, "Your mother."
Now,
unbelievable.
Now, it's one thing for us to find that out through a third party.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's proud, though.
And Dave be maybe embarrassed, deny, and then eventually admit that he did it. He tells the story
proudly,
as if people are going to go, "Man, you are so cool. You're the best, Dave.
Let me
You're
ask
such
you
a
question,
super fan."
because I think you know Dave well. I don't want. This is a hard question. Okay. There's two things going on. He is close to being institutionalized.
We know that.
Or this is all a play.
No, it's not a play. I wish it was a play for him.
So you think he really does this stuff?
I believe the motivation, as sick as it is, and as useless as it is, his motivation is he wants to be known as the greatest Giant fan on the face of the earth. He doesn't want to be known as a great talk show host, not a great father, not a great husband, not a great friend. If his lasting memory on this planet is there was no bigger Giant fan than him, he would be in bliss. That's his ultimate. So he tells those stories as if like proof. This is how big a Giant fan I am. That this is what I do, the lengths I go. I'm being serious. I think that's it. Because why else would he tell these stories with pride? He should be embarrassed.
Ashamed.
Mortified.
And I don't get how being at that level makes him a better fan than everybody else.
And I just, but at the expense of embarrassing your son, first of all, going to Princeton in a Giant T-shirt.
That's sad. It's unfortunate.
And then, saying your mother to a matriculating student.
A matriculating student, for God's sake.
Who's going to be his boss one day because he's an Ivy League student.
That's a good point.
I don't know, Ben. I would think Ben's probably very intelligent and can get into Princeton. He might have cost him a chance to go.
You can't make that. That's too.
That's just like the Jeff Van Gundy stuff. He makes leaps.
I got to tell you, that's too big a leap.
Do I want to go on record and say that the kid's stupid? No. I'm going to err on his side.
No, that's another leap.
That's another leap. But I'm just saying, you can't assume Princeton is so hard at this point.
But why not leap positive?
I think. How about you say it like this?
I've met his mom. It's not impossible.
I would like to believe that he could go there. That would be great.
Yeah. Why would you drive to Princeton? I mean, they live a long way from Princeton.
That's the interesting question too. Is you got to be actually sitting at like a 4.0 unweighted. At this point, from what I hear about how hard college is.
To even step on the campus.
4.0 unweighted. If they still score SATs the way they did when we were kids, you're talking about a 1,500 SATs.
Probably higher.
Higher than 1,500?
Because the top is 1,600.
I'm aware.
1,500's not getting into Princeton.
Oh,
it's got to be 1,560, 1,580.
You think you know?
Oh, yeah.
I think. Let me put it this way. I think if you have a stacked, weighted AP everything, international baccalaureate, you were the president of your class, blah, blah, and you get a 1510, I think you can still sniff Princeton.
I don't know.
I think once you get over 15, Michael, you're in rarefied air.
I'm not sure, Peter.
Let's be honest. But what do we know? We have yo-yo scores.
Well, I was 1280.
No, I think you said we're the same. I think you were 1260.
1260.
Yeah, we're yo-yos. We're not in the conversation of 1,500.
Well, I got accepted into Columbia.
Did you really?
Yeah. On the waiting list. And then I got in.
Really? What a joke Columbia was at that time.
Oh, my God.
I mean, no, it's for 1260. They're
some
better
might say now they are.
No, well, some would. But they're better than that. 1260?
Oh, I went to one of the best high schools in the country.
Do you have a 4.0?
No, I had a 92.
92 in Columbia.
Wow.
That's a long time ago.
That's Ivy League adjacent now.
Not Ivy League adjacent. It's just Ivy League.
No, but I'm saying with those to get in, like that.
Oh, no, that's a Ivy League adjacent.
But Bronx Science
that might not get you in,
hard.
That won't get you into Michigan anymore.
They got me into Columbia.
Back then. But I'm saying it wouldn't anymore. You don't think there's a chance you'd get in anymore?
Of course I would.
To Columbia with a 92 and a 1260? You got to stop.
Sports editor of the school paper.
Oh, congratulations.
You know what? Bronx Science is one of the most prestigious high schools in the country.
I'm telling you.
And you know what? They have a Hall of Fame. You know who's in that Hall of Fame? This bearded freak.
Yeah, but you weren't then. But you weren't then.
But those aren't Ivy League
The numbers aren't getting you there anymore.
It was then.
No, but that's all I'm saying is now.
So what? Did we get smarter?
I don't know.
There's evidence we've gotten dumber.
Every school, if we were to take we could do the rest of the segment from people calling up and saying, I went to Rutgers, my kid's never going to get in. Or I went to Maryland, my kid's not getting in. This is what's happened to all the schools that were like considered pretty good are really hard, and the ones that were really hard are impossible. North Carolina, don't even send your application. Duke, Jump off a bridge. There's these. You're not getting in. That's how hard these things have gotten. I'm not kidding.
That's terrible.
But then,
by the way, if you get in, Don, it's going to cost you $80,000 a year.
But then there's also been a drop-off from some schools. I mean, because Ford had me, Breen, and look at Pusick.
Now it's the Pusick.
Yeah.
You know, that's a tough run for them. It's a tough run.
He doesn't get paid enough for that abuse. You want to abuse people, abuse people that...
You know, the Pusick was born on the Rose Hill campus.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Did you start the Pusick back then?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Can you imagine?
I started it then.
Can you imagine the poor Jesuits who had to deal with that?
It was a lot for them. It really was.
Wait, how long have you been sporting the Pusick?
6 years? 7 years?
7 years.
7 years of Pusick. That's my 8th book.
And no explanation for anyone on what's going on.
Just because.
It's a big hairy
Well, but
wart.
that's not that long. You've been on the show longer than he's had the Pusick.
But he hasn't been here the whole time we're on the show.
But 7
No, I'm saying 7 years is nothing.
But 7 years for a look. A pretty original look. And the answer is simply, nah, I got no idea.
We got a bad out of it.
There's a big,
we did get a bad,
hairy wart under there. Disfiguring wart.
That's what you think?
And you know what? And then I buy it. Then keep the Pusick.
Because nobody wants to see that.
Right. Nobody wants that unless there's a reason.
I had a 20/20 on the SATs. A 32 on the ACT.
A 20/20? We don't even know what that means.
The 3 scores. They went back to the 2 scores again because they don't think grammar and writing means anything anymore.
So they're back to 1600
I think they're back to 1600 again.
Yeah, there was a run of like 10 years where the scores made no sense. Nothing makes you feel older than not even understanding how the scoring system works.
Boy, I would get so nervous taking the SATs.
You know what? Speaking of...
I told you my situation.
You cheated?
No. The reason I don't even remember I think my first score was a 980, and I had to go back in because I went to an all-boys school for 4 years. So I had to go... No, a girl. There were girls. So I had to go to Ridgewood High School to do it on a Saturday afternoon. I'd say 75% of the people were women. And I was focused on that, and I got a terrible grade.
What a degenerate.
No, meanwhile, well, don't worry,
I'm
Don.
a degenerate.
You couldn't concentrate on the most important test of your life?
Don,
because there's a woman sitting there?
You went to a boys' school.
Yeah.
Did you ever saw a woman before?
Well, hold on. You can't even weigh in on this, considering you hadn't even thought of a woman yet by the time you took the SATs.
No, last year at high school.
And my dad was furious with me
high
because
school.
That whole summer, my dad, because I had a PC Junior. Remember those?
Sure.
It was like a big computer. And one of the video games was Bird versus Dr. J was one of the.
Oh yeah.
But he had a whole big SAT testing. I did it all summer long, and I was ready.
But they didn't put a woman next to you.
But I lost focus. I'll tell you what I was thinking of off the air. And I was obsessed with it. But then I took it back, and I don't remember I was probably like 1100 and something or whatever. I'm not as smart as you guys. I admit that.
And Don, Michael was just thinking about Thurman Munson.
But Peter, you can at least empathize with my situation, right?
Of course.
It's stupid. I get it.
It's not.
But I was 18 years old.
You would be that distracted? It's not like they were sitting there naked. They had clothes on.
Yeah, but they never saw girls.
He never saw girls?
Well, like, I mean, if they're not in your school, did you party with girls at all in high school?
Well,
They weren't girls at Clixie Pond?
Clixie Pond. It was Gypsy Pond. Clixie's was across the street. You got all mixed up.
Yeah, come on. You pull it together.
Yeah, I would. Listen, I dated, but I was not in a classroom atmosphere with girls.
This is distressing.
No, it's not. Think about it. 4 years.
I
And now
get
I'm in
it.
a classroom atmosphere. It's distracting. I should have done better.
Please
I get it.
do it.
So we are
Don't
doing
be
it.
above me with your eyes open. You would have been fantasize about making out with your eyes open.
He wouldn't. No, it was 17. He wasn't even thinking about making out yet, Don. He was thinking about making out with his...
17 I was. That was the last year of high school. Because I skipped a grade.
Right. If there was a Yankee day game, he would have been more distracted than I was.
Yeah.
So, speaking of high school, the Manasquan Board of Education is heading to court.
I don't blame him.
To halt Saturday's NJSIAA Group 2 championship game as it seeks legal relief in the aftermath of the Manasquan boys basketball team's controversial loss to Camden in Tuesday's Group 2 semi. In other words, they're trying to block the championship game because of what happened. Game officials, if you haven't seen it yet, they ruled that the shot came after the buzzer, giving Camden a 46-45 victory. However, if you've seen the video, the ball was out of the player's hand with 0.6 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in terms of it being a close call, it's not very close.
But I will tell you one thing you're leaving out. The initial call on the court was the shot was good.
Right.
Then the other two officials huddled, and they waved it off. Now, since it's the last play of the game, why can't they give the title chance to Manasquan? Why? You've got video. The initial call was that it was good. That was overturned by the other two officials. So if you have video that tells you that Manasquan won, then they should represent Jersey in that championship on Saturday.
I agree.
It just seems like a very easy fix.
And then they go, it's not fair to the kids from Camden. Sorry, you lost.
Well, no. By the way, if it's not fair because they've gotten to think that they won for the last couple of days, you may be right. That is tough to do that to high school kids. That's your fault.
Yeah.
That you guys did that.
But
it's tougher to do to the other kids that got to take it away.
Right, because the kids from Camden are going to watch the tape and know.
Ill-gotten gains.
They know.
And you know what? That's what's also unfair. I'm glad you brought that up. Because now Camden is always going to be looked upon as the team that stole the like if they go on and win the whole thing,
it's going to have an asterisk.
It's going to have people are going to be like, "Oh, you're the team. You're the team." They're going to probably get booed in games, which is also unfair because they didn't do anything wrong. So now they've got to wear the scarlet letter of the ignorance from these officials. It's the last play of the game. Everybody's seen it. Everybody's seen it talked about everywhere. Why can't they just reverse it? Who would complain? Like, would anybody from Manasquan say, that you took it away from us? You robbed
Camden.
Camden. How can you say that?
I know. That's the thing. I can't see who from Camden. The way that they really blew it is now by continuing to wait.
Right.
They make it harder each day.
Well, they want to wait because then once it goes to Saturday, then it's all over.
Point.
Yeah.
But they're making it worse in terms of the idea that you could reverse it. Because if they reversed it the next day, all right, it's tough, but you do it. Now, the Camden kids are all obviously preparing for this game on Saturday. They got to go play. It was a botch job.
But it's ugly when it's got to go to court. Everybody ends up losing. It's just so bad. It's really, honestly.
I would have a little bit of a problem if the call on the court was it didn't count. Because they don't have instant replay in high school.
Right.
The initial call from that one official was it counted. And then it got overturned. The video now shows you the overturn was wrong. So go back to the original call. That's all. Let them go to the championship.
By the way,
game.
it seemed like they made the call pretty quick, the reversal. You'd think you could have taken like a little bit longer and probably heard from someone else being like, hey, guys, it was definitely good. You know what I mean? I know that's not technically the three of them should be the ones that decide, but there are other officials there watching the game. I'm surprised someone wouldn't step in and go, guys, that was not close. Because, listen, 0.6 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but if you watch basketball, guys, you know that the ball coming out with 0.6 seconds is plenty of time. So, not what you want. I'll say that much right now.
Say it.
Not what you want. Let's hear it. Michael, you've talked a lot about J.J. McCarthy. You're not impressed.
I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback.
Oh, here's Mike Greenberg.
The value in this draft, I believe, is going to become McCarthy. I don't think teams are trading up to get Marvin Harrison Jr. because Rome Odunze, I think there are going to be teams in the NFL who think he's just as good. Malik Neighbors, I think there are teams in the NFL who are going to think he's just as good or at least close enough that I'm willing to take a bunch of, Arizona and the Chargers, trade back a little bit, a few picks, still get a really good wide receiver and get a bunch more stuff. Teams are going to look at the Giants as the team they have to get in front of. And so I believe 5 is the pressure point for J.J. McCarthy.
I don't.
You're not seeing it.
Well, maybe they see it, and it will be 5, but I'd be surprised. By the way, the Manasquan head coach is going to be on with Dan Gross at 7:30.
There you go.
Following our show.
Really?
Yeah.
Good job.
That's a good. I'm actually interested to hear what he has to say.
You want to drive home with me? We'll listen in the car.
I think
no.
Peter can get home in time for 7:30. We get off at 6:30.
I got therapy.
Really?
How long is
therapy?
Time's therapy?
7:30.
How long does that take?
90 minutes.
Oh my God!
I'm sure it'll be available to listen to tomorrow
on the podcast.
On the podcast, yeah.
I'd like to hear.
You know
what? Maybe you and the therapist could listen.
You know what I might do? Might even play a piece tomorrow during ENN. What are your thoughts?
I love it.
Because also you do. It's always hard to decide when you say enough is enough too. I always found that to be really. By the way, yeah, my bank account would ask that question as well. No, but in terms of protesting things in general, like a loss, for example, like when do you go? Okay, well, I'm not going to say which way I was leaning in the 2000 election, but if you remember, there was a big back and forth about who won the election and hanging chads and things of that nature, and a lot of people got to the point. I thought relatively quickly of being like, hey, shut up, enough is enough. It counts. That's what they decided. It counts. But where do you draw that line?
I don't think these things should end up in court. As important as it is for these kids, should court be taking up time?
So they should be decided on court, not in court.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's...
They don't give these jobs to chimps.
No, because they don't speak.
I think we covered a lot of big ground today. The Broncos are releasing All-Pro safety Justin Simmons. Carl Anthony Towns is being evaluated for a meniscus injury.
That doesn't help anybody.
And guess what? The Nets have ruled out Ben Simmons for the remainder of the season due to the ongoing back issue.
Quite a trade.
It just stops them from having to say he's out tonight. He's out tonight. He's out tonight.
He's out this year.
Yeah, doesn't it make it a little bit easier in that way? That'll do it for ENN on this Thursday evening. It was brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Dodge Power Shot Days, Jeep Celebration Event, and Ram Truck Month. And, of course, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, July 20th. We covered a lot. You can hear it on the podcast, including our convo with Ariel Helwan.
See ya.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, our coverage of the Nets and Pistons gets underway with the pregame show for all of us here on the Michael K. Show. This is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
The Brooklyn way is something that you can't describe. You just gotta know it. You gotta feel it. You gotta be here.
We give everyone the swag, the lingo, the culture, the look. We're just the sauce.
We got everything.